Wait, I gotta ask because this is very important for pancake eating. Do you first put the butter between the pancakes to melt perfectly in between the pancakes?
You're gonna be really disappointed in me.
It's the perfect way to put the butter on pancakes.
I don't put the butter on pancakes.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't
Like
put
no
butter.
butter.
Yeah, butter's over there. I'm sorry.
That's the
I'm not,
wrong way to eat pancakes.
I'm not sorry, but that's just true. I just don't put butter on pancakes. All right. So let's go ahead and get this started. I'm not sure if we're gonna put that at the end or keep it at the beginning, make people wonder what the fuck's going on, but here we go. Hello, movie watchers, and welcome to episode 11 of the Lunar's Cut, your place for long form, raw, and unedited discussions about a TV show or movie that we're passionate about this week. I'm Kevin Kaine. That's my special guest, Lacey, who you'll learn more about here in a little bit. If this is your first time here, welcome. We are glad you joined us on this discussion. Secondly, what exactly is this? The Lunar's Cut was an idea that I had, similar to a director's cut of a movie. Uh, I wanted to have just a long form discussions about movies that we didn't have to edit down into 10 minutes or like a review. I just wanted to let it go. And for 11 episodes, I've been spouting off in your ear for an hour or more. So I'm enjoying it, and we'll keep it up. This each week we pick a show or movie that we're passionate about. We talk about the plots, the visuals, some cinematography, leaves some logic, weird tangents, anything and everything in between. This week we are talking about the new Disney live action movie Aladdin.
Yep.
But before we do that, let's talk about housekeeping. Where can you watch this? This show is part of the Moon Movie Review YouTube channel. Also, you can find this podcast on various podcast services out there, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. As always, links to all of those will be in the description. Shout out to Dan and the crew at Crowdintown Creative for our awesome intro and outro music. You can find them for your creative needs at www.crowdintown.com. Lacey, my special guest, welcome to the show. I'm glad you could be here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and why you wanted to hop on the show with me, particularly about because of this movie.
All right, so I'm Lacey. I don't really have any credentials. I like movies. Pretty big Disney fanatic, like whole life, right? Had the ridiculous Disney VHS collection, like most 90s kids. All useless now, but wore some of those out. So yeah, I'm really excited about they're redoing a lot of the Disney movies recently, a lot of live action stuff. Some of them good, some of them bad. So, since you have this, it was a perfect forum to chat with somebody else who likes movies about one of the ones I was really stoked about.
Yeah. So do you want this moment currently to air out any grievances of prior live action movies that you hated, just real quick?
So the only one I thought I was gonna hate, I just didn't watch because I didn't want it to ruin Mary Poppins for me.
Yeah, it literally could possibly go back in time and ruin your childhood. That's what
It
I heard.
could. Like, it would just make me really sad. And I love Emily Blunt. I love Emily Blunt. I was so stoked for her to be Mary Poppins, and the reviews and like Rotten Tomatoes and people I know that love Mary Poppins watched it and were like, don't do it. It makes it terrible. So I was totally cool with when they redid Beauty and the Beast. That one I really liked. Cinderella was okay. So yeah. So overall, like 50-50, I guess.
Gotcha. So when it comes to me in particular about the Disney movies, I was a big fan as a child. Still am a child, but no, neither here nor there. Uh, but I remember watching them a lot as a kid, especially with my sister in the VHS, like you were saying, in that weird plastic coffin of a box, right? That was different
Yep.
from any other. Like the corners you could cut your little brother with. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and Aladdin was one of my favorites. I didn't really have too much excitement for this movie when it was coming out. Maybe because I don't know if I was just beyond that point. I think part of it too is not having access to anyone who's super stoked about Disney movies, right? Like, there's no one I know where I live that's like, dude, Aladdin's dropping this weekend. Let's go. So I haven't watched any of the live action movies.
Okay.
Not that I'm against it. Like they're on my Netflix queue to be like, maybe I'll watch them. But then you do that thing where you keep just finding new stuff. You're like, you
Yeah.
do spend more time actually like trying to figure out what you're gonna watch than actually watching anything.
Always.
So that happens to me a lot. But Aladdin was one of my original favorites. I do remember enjoying it. Lion King's coming out later this
It
year,
is.
so that's another one that I always enjoyed quite a bit too. But I haven't watched Aladdin in, God, I think what it might have been like at school, and I'm trying to think of what age that Aladdin was still acceptable for the audience, right? Like, I think you can get away with it a little bit longer than you think. And people, like, if it was like a sub that came in the school and was like, we're
Yeah.
watching movies, and everyone's like, all right, yeah, I'll watch Aladdin. It's been a while, let's just say. So came into this one kind of fresh. But first off, of course, we're going to have spoiler-free thoughts. So I'll go ahead and go into mine. I didn't know how in I was going to be in for this experience until that opening song where they recreated the intro song.
Yeah.
And I got goosebumps because I was like, I know this song. I don't quite remember it, but I know this song. Kind of like any other song from when you were a kid. That happened to me twice in the movie. I'll let you guess what the second time was. But this movie ended up being quite a lot of fun. I liked it quite a bit. It definitely, there were some parts that were a little bit interesting choices. I think acting wise, I liked all the acting choices they chose for the different characters. I feel like maybe I'm biased with Jafar because I remember him just being so oily evil, like this weird greasy evil dude. Yeah. And the guy they got, while still a douche, was not as gross, I guess, the way you put it. And I'm not sure if you can, because he had the chin hair thing, and he always used to do that thing. He was real weird, the way they animated him. But overall, I enjoyed it. And as far as my review, which is not a review actually, if you have a list, which I do, go and watch this movie. You'll have a good time. If you have to spend money, if you really like Aladdin, I think you'll like this movie too. But what did you think, real quick? Spoiler-free thoughts.
Spoiler-free overall, I think it's great. We'll probably be buying it on DVD because I'm still one of those DVD people. Yeah, so I liked it. I mean, I think that there were some, like you said, interesting choices, some things that they changed from the original, things that I liked, things that I was like, meh. But overall, I was really stoked. And like you said, like the opening song, and I was just, honestly, I think I was in my seat and I was like, yes. So I was really stoked about all the music choices, pretty much. And I was really excited to see Will Smith kind of in that role. And I think I really enjoyed it overall and had a lot of fun, just kind of like the nostalgia of singing along silently in the movie theater. So I wasn't that person, but yeah, just really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think, and I guess we could probably get into it a little bit more once we get past the spoilers, just to make sure we don't ruin anything. Yeah. I don't even know why we have, to be honest, I don't even know why we have a spoiler section for Aladdin, this.
Like, that's your
whatever. But we'll try and keep it just for posterity's sake. I thought he did a great job. I do think he had probably the toughest chore to follow up what was a great performance from Robin Williams. Rest in peace. I think, like, that must have been so tough to try and get people to want to do that role coming after Robin Williams and what he's capable of doing.
Who wants to follow Robin Williams? I mean,
it's tough. And I think Will Smith was a great choice for the fact that he does have a musical background. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's ever been a singer, but he's capable, right? Like, he's not, but he has, recorded and performed musical numbers. So, like, it's not too far of a stretch for him to do what he had to do in this movie. And he's kind of a goofball. And I think he did an admirable job. I do still prefer Robin Williams, but I don't think that's a controversy. But that was probably the toughest thing to sell people on was the genie. Especially with the first movie. I don't know how you felt about him, but I feel like that was the hardest hill to climb to try and convince people that this movie should exist. Was how was the genie going to be? So what do you think?
I was definitely skeptical going in because how are they going to portray that and make him larger than life like he was in the animated film, right? And like you said, Robin Williams was just legend. And how do you follow that performance up in general? But I think that Will Smith did a really good job. I think he made it enjoyable. He was fun. He was fun during the singing. And then, they did a good job of making the actual genie still kind of larger than life and goofy, but serious and powerful. And so I thought they did a good job. I went in with low expectations on Genie, honestly. Like, there's no way you can make this live action and be good. So
yeah, Yeah, I wasn't creeped out by Blue Genie. I know
Yeah,
the original initial trailer, I was like, ugh, but after like while I was watching the movie, I didn't ever take me out of it.
yeah,
Um, and they do have large portions where he is just traditional Will Smith with a weird ponytail. So yeah. So yeah, my recommendation: go watch this movie. Lacey, do you share that sentiment?
100%. Go watch it.
Cool. So now we're gonna get out of spoilers. So traditionally we go through the acts of this movie or of movies whenever we have discussions on the Lunar Cut. I think we'll kind of do that, and but maybe a little bit looser because we are going to be comparing this to the prior film.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. So we open this movie with Will Smith telling his kids about a story of Aladdin. I don't remember if that was in the first movie.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. There was no story of like the genie telling
No, it was
anything.
like so it's told from like this creepy like vagabond with snaggle teeth. And he's the one who kind of starts singing the first song Arabian Nights that you were talking about.
Right.
He's like starts to tell the story and it gets all mystical. So I was actually kind of okay with them getting rid of the creepy guy because he was always weird when we were kids. But so I thought it was a really cool way to kind of bring it full circle from the end.
Well, he had a weird beard. If you saw where he had like people do braid their beards, but he braided it off center.
I don't think I noticed that.
It's weird. I was like, I can't. I don't. Why did you do that? Whatever. You're just a dude on the boat. I guess I can't argue. Maybe you thought it was center. Like I'm sure if you put a ponytail up right now, it's not gonna be perfect center.
No,
But
for
at least
sure.
it's probably close.
It's gonna be close
That
enough that I don't think you could tell unless you were like, let me look at it real close.
it's almost like to me in my mind. Maybe this is my one nitpick. I don't know why I care. It was almost like he was gonna do pigtails with his beard, but then he
Just
just
put
gave
the
up.
one.
Yeah, he was just like, no. Um, anyways, so we get Will Smith in a character called I think it wasn't the fisherman. Do it on the boat. It was like that's his name. He's
Yeah.
either genie or this person. Anyways, he's telling his kids about the story of Aladdin. Does the Arabian Nights. Great rendition of Arabian Nights. This was the like I said, I got goosebumps during this.
Yep.
Read a great scene of I've already forgot the name of the town again.
Agrabah.
Agrabah. We get a great shot of Agrabah, looking more real. They go through the town. Everyone's doing their business. Will Smith is kind of nailing the singing part. I mean, he's going real low, so he's not having to like do too much range, but setting up the story. And then during the number, we go ahead and just blast past that first part where the Jafar throws in the poor asshole who's
Yeah.
gonna get get killed
He
at the
gone.
get killed in the cave because he's not the diamond in the rough. Um, I will say that I remember watching the original movie, the cave explaining the rules of the cave, being the person I don't even remember, but the this time he would say no failed. This guy has failed.
Yeah.
You need a diamond in the rough, and he kind of had some other words, and I couldn't really understand him. What he was trying to say besides diamond in the rough, which is like the only thing I remember from the story. Did you hear what he was trying to say? Like the details of who could get
So
in?
yeah, what I got from it is, and I don't remember all of what he was saying, but it was that the person's worth has to lie deep within or something like that. So I think there was more to that, but I was just like really stoked about the way they did the cave, and I was very
Cave looked good.
distracted.
The cave looked good. So that guy failed, and so they have to find someone. Jafar is all like, "Nah, I want to
And
get my
that's like our
land."
first look at Jafar too.
Yeah. Um, like I said earlier, they really animated Jafar in the cartoon as being an asshole, and
Hmm.
in this one, he was still an asshole. But Jafar in the animated version is far more an asshole. Like they went to town on his character to do anything to make you uncomfortable. To me, in
Yep.
my mind, to be like, we're gonna put that in one person. Jafar nailed it.
See,
Creep.
so this is like one of the few things I was disappointed with in this movie. Jafar. Just overall. We can cover it later when we get farther in, but just
But
overall, his portrayal of the character I wasn't like super stoked with.
yeah, that's fair. At least I share the same thing. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't enough of a douche,
Yep.
in my opinion. But anyways, so we continue our story after the awesome intro of I already forgot the name of the town.
Agrabah.
Agrabah. We get, and I think the next scene is just introducing us to Aladdin, who actually gets pickpocketed himself this time. I don't remember that in the original. But he gets his thing back while the monkey pickpockets that lady with the necklace. So I was like, that's cool. And then you see him trying to pawn it off. And the lady's like, I'm not having your shit today, Aladdin. Get this fucking jewelry out of here, bro. And he's like, just worth three bags of dates. And she's like, I was like, this currency is weird. I don't understand the trade numbers here, but whatever. So he gets his bag of dates. We get that scene similar to the original movie, which I remember is where Apu's really not for giving the poor people the food, but Aladdin's like, nah, I'll give you the food. And then we get the sign of like showing him being kind of a cool guy. Like, yeah, he's not well off. He does steal when he needs to, but even though he has something and he probably should eat it, like I don't know if he had anything else to eat, he gives it to the kids. I will say I did like Apu. And it's Abu, right?
Abu, yep.
Yeah, Abu. But I feel like the animation version is allowed to get his facial expression and personality a lot more than the CGI version. And I think it's just because his head is proportionate to a monkey's head as opposed to the larger head of the animation. So I found it hard to kind of focus on him being a thing, like looking at his face as compared to the cartoon. I don't know if you had that same feeling either, but
we get a lot less interaction with him, I think, like straight on than you did in the animated version.
The magic carpet we got probably about the same, maybe a little bit less, but a lot more. But it's probably because he's a carpet and they can animate his visual way to talk to people a lot better. And so we open up. He gives the dates to the kids, and then we get introduced to who we know is Jasmine, but I guess in the movie we don't know. Who real quick, I think we're kind of blazing through the setup of this movie compared to the animated movie. From what I remember. Where she's hanging out, we don't really know. She's real pretty, and she has a thing over her face, so she's trying to hide, or at least it appears so. She's kind of dragging it over. And she sees some poor kids really hungry. She gets the bread, hands it to them, just like in the other one. They're like, yay, and they run off. And the shop owner is like, hey, you just stole food from me. And she doesn't have money, which is still always weird in this movie, in both of them, right? Like, you're royalty and you have no money on you, like, at all?
Like, even sneaking out, why didn't you think, like, maybe I need some of that? I don't know. I never got that either.
But the point of the scene is to show that she cares about all of the people in her kingdom, and she wants to help them. And of course, she is very naive to how this world works, because we learn later that she's kind of a shut-in, and she doesn't get to hang out very much in the real world. And luckily, Aladdin's there to save the day, and he saves the day by pawning off her bracelet. While she's just like, what? No, what's going on? He's like, no, I got this, bro. Don't worry about it. Hey, you want this bracelet? Here's this bracelet. And they walk away, and she's like, that was my mother's bracelet. Or she's like, that was really important to me. He's like, this bracelet? Because the monkey went and stole the bracelet again. Again, Aladdin, maybe most of his thievery is the monkey. Yeah. It might, but don't get me wrong, it takes two to tango. Like, he is very much a part of it, but the sleight of hand, probably more Abu than it is Aladdin at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
And so we get the scene where they go off to, he's like, hey, we're fine. And then we get the great chase scene, which is a recreation from the animated. So we essentially get parkour Aladdin, which is pretty rad. I think it's pretty cool. They did a pretty good job of him running off. We get that great musical number, which made more sense in the animated film, but kind of a little bit less sense in live action. But I don't know why it matters. Like, I've watched musicals in live action, it's fine, but it's just kind of funny. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, they're going all out. Like, they're just doing this. So we get the great thing about him stealing. He gets through all his hijinks. I'm not going to try and recreate a lot of the scenes, but I do feel like a lot of the scenes are recreated from the animated film pretty well. I will say that when he goes into the brothel, I think is what that is.
Yeah. Harem? Is harem like the group of women? I don't know.
Well, harem would suggest that they're all about him.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, in an anime, it's very much an anime. So when you have an anime and you have that traditional male character, and then every woman is wanting to get with him, or at least like really falling in love with him or really liking him, that's a harem, right?
Gotcha.
So that one was kind of like a minute. They were just like,
Eh.
"Oh, he's kind of cute," like, and then he's just like, "Whoa, I'm trying to run away from the law, ladies.
Like the
Let's
Madden's like shooing him out.
get out of here." Um, so they end up. He has a great scene, awesome rendition. They get away, and they end up hanging out at his pad, which his pad's pretty dope, to be honest. But whatever. Like I guess he's supposed to be poor, but. And then we get this interesting scene where he thinks that she's actually not the princess, but the princess's handler. Like, do you remember if that's how it was in the original?
He thought so. In the original, there wasn't a handmaid. Like Jasmine didn't have friends, and so he thought she just worked in the palace in some way. So like they just made it more specific this time, which I get.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just didn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, I'm not I'm the handsmaid, whatever. I'm trying to hide the fact that I'm the princess, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about the princess and how that she's never allowed out because the mom got assassinated. And I don't remember that being in the first movie or the original or not.
I don't either.
That little detail. But essentially the princess is not allowed out because the Sultan is afraid for her life. So she was going out here trying to see her people, and she's clearly not well adjusted to normal life. So we get some interesting moments with them, but she has to get back because there's a procession heading to the palace, and she's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get back to get the princess ready." Like that's her ploy. But anyways, she runs off, and she's like, "Where's my bracelet? It was my mom's bracelet." And he's like, "Oh shit, I don't have it because Apu took it."
He's too good at his job.
And I was like, I felt bad for Aladdin there. I was like, the monkey's really good at stealing sometimes, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And in this moment, bad. And he even has that moment with Apu. He's like, or Abu. He's like, there's times where we steal and times where we don't. This is where we don't. Sure. Stop cock blocking me, bro.
Basically.
I had a moment, and you ruined it.
Yeah, it went straight down the toilet.
So Jasmine, of course, who we know as Jasmine, who she says that she was another name that I'm forgetting. It was the name of the handmaiden.
Dahlia.
Dahlia, that's right. Because the Black Dahlia. I was like, that's her name. Like, why? That brought me back up to that murder that happened. And so she gets introduced to this weird blonde dude who's totally has no game, and I can sympathize, but he really had no game. He's like, wow, you're beautiful, because she comes out in an amazing dress. It was like an orange dress, right?
I don't remember if it was the pink one. Was it the pink one that she came out in?
I think it was pink. It was pink, right? And it was real long. She walked down the entire staircase. Dress is still at the top of the staircase.
Yep.
Which is like maybe a bit much for the first meeting. I don't know. I'm not royalty. I feel
like if you're a princess doing like a grand entrance, you're like, look at me, bitch. It's pretty solid.
I guess, but what do you do with that dress afterwards, right?
From what
I gather, as not being a woman, you guys wear dresses once and then burn them.
Maybe if you're royalty. The rest of us live on a budget.
But all I'm saying is I don't know how often she was going to wear that because it was an amazing dress.
It was
stunning. Her walking on, it was great. It was a great scene. How they shot it, and just her, and she's a beautiful actress. She's a beautiful person. It was awesome. And
Can you imagine though? Because I was thinking this in the theater, and I think one of my I went and watched with some friends, and she leaned over and was like, "Can you imagine like the kids right now who didn't know that was Jasmine that are in the theater, right? And they're just like,
just blowing their mind."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's actually the princess. Holy shit! Yeah, I can understand that. And that's a lot of perspective. We can talk about this maybe later, maybe as we go. That there might be questions of why this was made, and it's the answer maybe it's made for the people who are younger.
Yep.
This will be their first incarnation of the Aladdin story, because maybe it's hard to get Aladdin and watch it nowadays.
Don't get me started on that.
As we've learned, it is kind of hard to get that movie. But anyways, let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
So essentially, she's they're trying. The whole point of this setup is that they're trying to get Jasmine married because the Sultan isn't getting any younger. You have Jafar, who's trying to control the Sultan, trying to actually just gain power, and he's trying to manipulate things from the background. And Jasmine is just like, none of these douches are, they're not even douches. None of these nitwits,
Basically,
are smart enough for me, or at least they don't match her ambition for wanting to do the best for the people in her kingdom. She's taking inspiration from her mother. We get a few scenes about that. I forget when they happen, but essentially her mom seems like a really cool person, and she's really wanting to be like her mom. And these nitwits aren't making it easy. She's like, God, these people. Like, but the key thing is that she can't be Sultan because it's never happened. And this is a difference from the regular movie, right? From the original movie. They never talk about her being Sultan.
No, they don't. They just say that she has to marry somebody. In I think in the original it's just that she has to marry somebody because she has to get married. I don't remember them talking about her ruling by herself or anything like that.
Right. So did you like that change?
I did. I mean, I think it's probably, I mean, it's more realistic and more on like the princess theme, right? Like there's not very many cultures or princess movies or whatever where the princess could have ruled.
Right.
They have to get married. There has to be a king. And that's part of the problem, right? She's going to marry one of these nitwits and he's going to want to run the country into the ground probably and the people that she loves. And so she's like, nah.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, sometimes, maybe more often than not, guys are dumb.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Maybe more often than not.
Did you not hear my story about pancakes? Anyways, we will continue. So she's pretty much denying that guy. Her handmaid's like, oh, dude, he's kind of cute. Why don't you go with him? She's like, bitch, I'm not. No. Like, no. Did you see him? He tried to pet my cat, called it a pussy. I wanted the tiger to eat him.
He's also wasn't he wearing like a fur coat in freaking Agrabah in the middle of summer when like normal people are dressed, like it's hot?
Yes, I will agree with you. Impractical. Also, her dress was probably impractical, but she pulled it off a lot better than he did.
She did. I agree.
So, we continue this scene. I think the next bit I want to hit on, I think there's some Jafar evilness where he's like controlling the dad. He's like, we should really invade that one town. I forgot the name. It starts with an S, I think.
He does. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, and luckily, Jasmine walks in and is like, that town? That's my mom's town. Why the hell would you want to freaking invade that place? And the Sultan's like, oh shit, I'm out of my trance. What's going on? No, we would never do that. And Jafar's like, nah. Like he's like, and he exercises his right hand man ness, if we can call that a thing, and is like pretty much like, shut up.
Basically, like sit down, little girl.
You should be over there and not talk, because that's what you should do. And I'm like, okay, what an asshole. Like, still, Jafar from anime series, asshole the minute you see him.
Yes.
This is the only point where you see Jafar as a real asshole, especially after the fact that she's like, so whenever they've established that she can't do shit, and she can't be, this is where I think they say there's never been a woman sultan, so you can't be sultan, you need to get, and she's like, well, I have ambitions, I want to do what's best for my people. He sends her away. She's emotionally distraught. She's like, well, I'm never going to be able to do any of these things. We get a good scene from the actress, like, I forgot her name, Naomi Scott, I believe. I pulled that off.
I think that's right.
And we get a great scene where she's kind of like, it's a mixture of embarrassment, frustration, and kind of just like, not disenchantment, but just like discouragement. If there's a better word for it, maybe I can think of
like
it
a loss
later.
of hope, right? Like she had this hope that maybe her dad would like change the rule, right? Because he's sultan, he could do that.
Right. And then we have Jafar just walk in, and it's weird. It was an interesting scene because he walks in and he's like, oh shit, and tries to like go back the other way, but then he's like, no, I'm gonna do this. And then just like totally he's like, why don't you go back and just not talk, bitch? Just like, I don't know what else he said. It's essentially
he actually like tells her like to be seen and not heard.
Right.
It's like, what?
And that's when the tiger shows up. What's the tiger's name?
Oh no, Raja.
Shout out to Raja. Pulling up at the right moment when this dude's being an asshole, and he's like, tiger's like, you best get away. And he's like, oh shit, and just kind of runs away. Good save, Naja. And then we get so we kind of established that we get a great scene different from the animated film where Jasmine is more of a person, more has her own motivations, and is more of a main character, which I was like, it's awesome. Like, there is a lot of movies in our past, and maybe not that far past, where the damsel in distress trope is kind of frustrating. And I feel like in this movie, they address that by giving her her own ambitions and her like her own goals to make her own a person. And I thought that was great. I thought the path and the things they laid out for Jasmine in this movie was an awesome change. That was all for. What did you think?
I think it was great because like the I don't know how much you remember of the animated, but in the animated, it's just you see her right like turning down all these princes and just kind of not being a brat, but just like I don't want to marry anybody, right? And just like throwing herself to cry, which is the worst repeat Disney scene that they always have.
No.
Just
like on
exactly.
the rock. No.
Exactly. And you don't get any of this backstory, right? Of her just like being like, I want to rule my people. My mom, was loved by the people. I want to be that I don't know what a queen to the sultan is called. I'm not really sure. I don't even know if they mentioned it.
They say queen, which is weird.
Okay.
You figure it might be a different name. You're right. There probably is a different name. Whatever. Queen.
Anyway, queen, right? But so I don't know. I mean, I was really excited about the backstory and like getting some of that a little bit more strength, and like she's not just being like bratty and doesn't want to marry somebody. She wants to marry somebody if they're maybe worth it.
And it gives us a reason why. Mm-hmm. Why is she turning down these people other than them being lame, which is a good reason. But
sure. Yeah.
It answers that question of why she has the standards that she has.
Yeah.
She has these goals for her kingdom, and if she wants to exercise those goals, she can't have someone who's just a dumbass, and so she's like not having it. And I thought it was a great change because you're right. Like in the original movie, it's kind of like, well, why are you just turning down these people? And it's like, well, I don't like them. It's like, well, I guess it's a pretty good reason, but it's not like a great reason. It's just, you're okay, cool. And so we'll move on. So Aladdin remembers that he has the bracelet. He has a great idea. He's like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna sneak into the palace, and I am going to give her the bracelet. It's gonna be super romantic, and it's gonna be real great, and we're gonna totally hit it off. It's gonna be awesome. Good plan, by the way. I'm not arguing with that. I was making fun of it, but no, it was a good plan. But while that happens, we get one character who we might discuss if we liked his portrayal in this movie. It was Diego. Iago. I added a D. My bad. So it's not voiced by Gilbert Gottfried, which is a little bit disappointing because Gilbert's a treasure, and he's much more toned down in this movie, but just enough for you to wonder: is this like a sentient parrot? Like, it's not that smart, but it's pretty smart. Like, yeah. But essentially, the parrot sees Aladdin sneaking into the place and somehow knows that he's the diamond in the rough. Don't remember how it's explained in the animated film, or if it ever gets explained, how they assume that Aladdin's going to be their diamond in the rough. But for whatever reason, our Iago has a diamond in the rough radar, pings when Aladdin's doing his thing, goes to Jafar, is like, hey, bro, we got our guy. And Jafar's like, all right, let's do this. And so he has Parrot on his shoulder, watches parkour Aladdin just running across the palace, and he's like, yes, good. And he just lets it happen. So Aladdin dons the disguise, knocks on the princess's door, and sees Jasmine there, and is like, hey, got your bracelet. I'm cool, right? And she's kind of like flustered because she was really upset with him for stealing it before. It's kind of like, oh, he brought it back. But he snuck in here. That's not cool. ish. Like, I don't know, but I'm a kid, so maybe it's fine. Like, this is like this weird, like, kind of like mixed emotions in the scene. But then we get a great scene with her trying to play off the fact that she's still the handmaiden, the princess, and then tries to tell her handmaiden, like, don't play along. Bracelet, he gave it to me. Cool. And she's like, oh, I'm the queen, or I'm the princess. You're right. Uh, I have boats and stuff. Just like it was so bad. You're like, I have 401k as well and a large bank account offshore. Like just like listing things that I guess she thought princesses would have. And Aladdin probably dumb enough to just be like, well, she's weird, right? Like,
Basically.
wow, Jasmine, princess, real weird. You're cool though. That was a great funny scene, and gives her the bracelet back. Smooth as hell, puts it back on her.
Yep.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude, awesome. Still a thief. Just keep putting it out there. But he put it back on. So like that's him showing his skill. Like he was just like,
oh, that's true. Yeah.
I got this for you. And did he show it to her? I think he showed it to her. I can't remember.
He did at the door.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah, and she's like, well, where's my bracelet? It's like, it's on your wrist, bitch. And she's like, oh, shit, fuck. And I was like, damn, Aladdin, calm down. And then he says, hey, I'm digging this you and me vibe right now. I'm going to steal your hair your decoration. I'll give it to you tomorrow night off by the fountain when the moon rises. And she's like, oh, he's so cool. And but there's attraction there. There is. And I felt their chemistry was very on point for this movie, especially with these two important characters. So he's all happy that he's like, I just snuck into the freaking palace, got out of there scot-free, boom, gets stopped by the guards. We get the sullen voice guard. I forgot. I don't even think it was the main guard. I forgot the main guard's name, but he was kind of rather important later in the movie.
Yep.
But anyways, he gets hoodwinked. He gets kidnapped to the middle of the fucking desert, and we get the mask off. Jafar's like, hey man, I understand you. I used to be you. Used to steal shit in the streets, and look where I am now. I'm probably going to be Sultan soon. Like, that's my goal. It's going to happen. I can help you out. And he does that pickpocket of the thing to show that he's actually been on the streets. And he's like, all you have to do is go in this weird-ass cave with a tiger face on it. Don't worry. It's fine. I sculpted it myself. It's not a sentient cave. Just go in there, get the lamp for me, get out of there. Don't touch anything else. Don't touch anything else. I will rewind to the intro. Did not give the warning to the other guy, although he died at the entrance, so it's fine.
He didn't make it. He didn't make it one step.
But he's like, don't touch anything else because you're going to be tempted. So Aladdin's like, okay, yeah, cool, bro. Because he promises, like, if you want to be a king, I can give you all that wealth. You just got to give me the lamp. Doesn't tell him how he's going to do it. He's just like, I'm going to do it. It's fine. I'm going to do this thing. And Aladdin's like, man, I really like that one handsmaid person. Rewind. Just remembered. Jafar's like, oh yeah, that chick you're talking to? Totally the princess. Idiot. He's like, what? She's the princess? And he's like, yeah, but she's just using you, bro. She's just using you. She just likes to pick up on commoners every once in a while, likes to have a little fling with them, hang out with them a couple days, send them on their way, never text them back. Ghosted, right? That's just what she does. Basically. I'm like, fuck Jafar, asshole. And he's like, you know what you could use? Money. And being awesome and rich might get her. And Aladdin's like, well, you might be right. Maybe that's the only way I could get her if she's a princess. Maybe if I'm just, I have a lot of money, I can do it. So now we have his motivation. Goes into the cave, filled a bunch of money, looks fucking awesome. Not as ridiculous as the animated movie, right? Like, it's just gold everywhere. Enough to be realistic, like, they just threw gold everywhere. You're like, all right, cool. And of course, on the random pillar in the middle of the fucking cave is the lamp, right? Like, just this one fucking...
The stairs don't even go all the way up to it.
They don't. It's like, I looked at that, I'm like, so Abu, you're getting that for me, right? Like, I can't get the fuck up there. And so he gets the lamp. There's some temptations with some gold and everything around there. But they both get there. He slips on a giant...
You totally skipped over the monkey slap, which was like the best part of this whole temptation of gold.
That's true. Well, at first it was Abu, right? Like he saw like something, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Abu, bro, we can't touch anything. Did you not hear the dude with the hat? We can't touch anything." And immediately he turns a corner and sees something in like a ledge, and he's just like, and he's about to pick it, and the monkey slaps his ass. He's like,
It's like a
"Oh."
full bitch slap, just.
He's like, "Oh," and then. So yeah, that was a good point to get. There's a bunch of gold everywhere. Aladdin has his head on the gold, right? Like he's ready to go. Abu pretty much does too. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're focused. He gets up there, slips on the giant, biggest ruby I've ever seen in my life. Like a compact disc, or not a compact disc, a floppy disk size
Yep.
ruby. By the way, kids, floppy disks, they existed. Look them up. Floppy disk size ruby. And it falls and just goes right in front of Abu, just like sitting there, and it's like tilting off the edge, right?
Yep.
And you just see it in his eyes. Abu's like, and it's pretty good rendition of the scene from the animated film, from what I remember.
Yeah.
But fuck, how that seems unfair, right? Because it just fell. He grabbed it, right? That seems like a reaction. Like I just let something falls, I might grab it, and it was like, nope, broke the rules, bro. You should just let it drop. And so Aladdin does get the thing. Forgot we get introduced to the magic carpet character. He's just hanging out with a rock on him for some reason. I don't know why it fell. I mean, I guess it's a cave. Things fall. But the carpet's just like, bitch, I got a rock on me. Get it off me. Line's like, yeah. Line's like, I got you, bro. Just backs up. Legs first. Lift with your legs, not your back. Lifts the rock up. Carpet gets out of there. And does the carpet help him get to the lamp?
Mm-mm. Totally watches them. He totally could help.
What a jerk. What a jerk.
Maybe he wasn't for sure he liked him yet.
I guess he helps him everywhere else beyond this movie, or beyond this moment. So he gets the lamp, while Abu catches the ruby, and the cave's not having it. So he jumps on the magic carpet, grabs Abu. They're about to head out. They get to the scene where Jafar's like, "Give me the lamp." And the lion's like, "No, give me your hand. I want you to get out of here." He's like, "No, give me your lamp, and I'll give you your hand." And he's like, "Okay, I'm an idiot. I'll give you the lamp." And Jafar's like, "How about I give you a boot?" It just starts hitting his feet. And we get a great scene of Abu being the master thief that he is, steals the lamp as he falls down, as we all know. So Jafar gets out and does his master scream to the sky because he doesn't have the lamp anymore. And Aladdin falls in. There's like a lava of gold, I think.
Yeah, it's like lava burst from the walls of the cave when Abu touched the ruby.
Which is like, makes everything more valuable, I guess. Like this is
true.
Like, okay, well, I'm just gonna fill this cave with more fucking shit that people will get temptations over. But anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyways, they're stuck in the cave, and as the first act is, it is the setup. I still think we can keep going. We'll keep going. We're gonna take a break real quick. But anyways, he gets a lamp, has some blue shit on it. They're like, because they're kind of like, what do we do now? And the lamp has some blue interesting things on it. He rubs the lamp. We get introduced to the genie, who is Will Smith, and big and blue, and he is like max size that he can be, but he could change the size at will, pretty much. And we get they do the normal thing, kind of like the original movie, where they kind of he's like assuming he's an asshole is essentially what happens. Like, what do you want? You want to take over this? Let me know. What's this? Because you're that guy. You're that guy, right? You want to just like get power or whatever. And Aladdin's just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Like, I read the lamp and a blue guy's here. I don't know what the hell is going on. He's like, oh, you don't know? Well, that's interesting. And he kind of realizes that this is not a normal person, and then kind of explains the rules of a lamp with a great rendition of the scene. And I remember it was kind of they stopped, like he started it and stopped. Like he started the scene and he was like, that was good enough. And
I got really sad for a second. I was like, no.
But then he goes ahead and just does the rendition of you never had a friend like me. And it wasn't as ridiculous as Robin Williams, but man, it was ridiculous. Like they CGI'd the hell out of Will Smith in different various forms. A lot of callbacks to the original Never Had a Friend Like Me, with some added flair of some hip hop in there too, kind of going more to Will Smith's hip hop roots. And at the end of it, Aladdin's like, "How's it work?" And Genie's like, "What the hell? The whole song was just to tell you how it worked." He's like, "Oh." And I remember in the original movie, he calls him out to be like, "Well, how's this power work? Could you get me out of this cave?" But in this one, Will Smith Genie is very much like, "Wish me to get us out of this cave so we can get started." And they kind of like move the rules of the lamp are you have to rub the lamp as you do the wish, which I don't think was rules in the original. And I think it's only for this scene, really. It doesn't affect anything else.
The only thing
From
else,
what I can remember.
I'm wondering if it was a rule in the first one because of the scene later where he touches the lamp again. That was kind of important. And I know that for sure was part of the animated one.
Yeah.
But I can't remember.
So the monkey, Abu, takes the lamp away, so he actually wishes for them to be out of there, but never rubs the lamp. Got him. So the genie's like, "Yeah, let's get out of here." Gets out of there, and is like, "Cool." He does the whole thing where he's like, "Oh, you got me," on the rewind. He does that cool where they rewind to the previous scene, and he solves the monkey. And he's like watching in the theaters with us. Will Smith is like,
Basically.
you see his silhouette in like a theater watching the scene play out, and he's like, "Oh, that monkey! Well, I'm gonna watch you." And he like kind of looks back to the camera. "I'm gonna watch you from now on." So he still has 3 wishes, and I think the setup will finish where Aladdin talks about how there's a girl, and we get a great scene of Will Smith doing the thing where he does the thing on the chin. He's like, "Tell me
the feet
about
behind
it."
him.
Yeah, and Aladdin's like, "The only way she'll love me is if I'm a prince. Can you make me a prince?" And then we get a great scene of the genie trying to dress him in the right way, get some different outfits, and then we finally settle on the white on gold, which is the traditional Prince Ali. And I think we're going to stop and take our first break is right before the entrance into Agrabah, which is a great scene, and I think we could talk about that for a while.
Oh,
so I think this is a good place to stop. So let's take a break right now, and then we'll get your thoughts on up until this point what you thought about it, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the intro theme to Prince Ali, which I think is a good place to stop, honestly.
Agreed. Yeah.
So we'll be right back. So let's go ahead and get part 2 of this discussion rolling. I wanted to ask you, Lacey, what you thought up until this point in the movie. Deep thoughts, what you liked, changes, all that kind of stuff. We kind of talked a little bit about it, but I wanted to get your overview so far.
So, like, up to this point, I'm really stoked about Genie because I had really low expectations. I love Will Smith, but I was like, I just don't know how they're going to do it. Kind of got the first big musical number. I guess first 2 big musical numbers, but Street Rat was never one of my favorite. Yeah, I guess you count Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
Street
we got
Rat
Arabian Nights. We got parkour, running away from people. Do we get the street? I feel like the somber Street Rat in his apartment. I guess we can call that a musical number. He does it twice.
Oh, you're right. He does do that twice.
Where he's like, "I'm a street rat. I don't buy that." Like that little number.
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
Real small. It's real small. He doesn't really go into it very far. But I think the animated had a longer scene about that.
So I guess it's pretty similar because they sing like the Street Rat where like the guards start singing it when they're chasing him.
Right.
And then he does his little, you're right, in the animated one he does the same thing where it's kind of like reflective. So I guess yeah. I mean, that was never one of my favorites. The parkour stuff was cool, and the way that they translated that was really cool. I liked that a lot. What else? So again, I was not super impressed with Jafar. Jafar to me was way more devious and sleuthy and like kind of like oily salesperson, right? In the animated movie. And then this one, he was just more kind of a dick. Yeah, like just a straight dick.
He was much more smooth with his delivery and his deviousness than this guy is. This guy's just kind of just an ass. He does have the staff that will mesmerize you, and which is kind of a cheat. But I feel like Jafar in the animated film felt like he was 80% just his gumption and his charisma
Yeah.
to convince the Sultan to do something, and that final 20% was the staff charm.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it felt like he had no charm to trying to convince the Sultan of anything, but then brought the staff out, and then that's kind of what he solely relied on. So yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from now. The more I think about it, and I kind of agree that yeah. Um, what else though? Jasmine gets introduced. Did you like so far her portrayal by the
Yeah,
actress?
I think it was good. I was really curious how they were going to do all the animals too, right? Because that's like I guess I watched the Jungle Book live action too, and they did a good job. But I was just interested to see how they were going to do it with Iago and the others. So Raja being still there and like kind of just like ready to bite somebody's head off was awesome. Because I really wanted a pet tiger after this movie. I distinctly remember like that was a thing for a little while. Um, Also possibly what started my obsession with big cats. But um little disappointed that Iago was not more mouthy. Like it's a parrot, right? So that I feel like you could have done more. I get why they couldn't do more with Abu. Because
Yeah,
like you have
he's a
limited
monkey,
facial expressions of a monkey, right?
right?
But with
And
Iago,
didn't
you just need his beak to be open.
yeah, he has his moments. Uh, whenever I forget, we went past the scene where Jafar kills a dude.
Oh yeah.
Where the guy's like, "Yeah, you're second place. That's great, right?" And the parent's like, "Oh shit, you hit a nerve." Like he just has like a one line where he's like,
hmm
"Oh no." So he has his moments, but yeah, it's not comparable to the Gilbert Godfrey
hmm
rendition of the character. Um, but I kind of get it. Like I think it's just enough, but you're right. It's not the same. It's definitely toned down a lot more. If there was degrees of turning the knob down,
Yeah.
Abu is a little bit uh, of a turn down,
Yeah.
while Iago is quite a bit
Yeah.
uh, from the cartoon version. So I can kind of get it why you would be disappointed so far and with that character. But anything else? Any other things you wanted to bring up before we go on and roll them?
Not in that first part. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised with all of it up to this point. So like I said, I didn't want to go in with like these really high expectations and take all the nostalgia of childhood watching this movie into it, and then be like, well, it's live action, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little
So
bit different.
yeah, so yeah, I was pretty happy up to here.
Okay, so we get what? Yeah, what? Maybe to me is probably like one of the top two scenes of this movie, and maybe even
hmm
in the original. We get the introduction to Prince Ali, and they went all out for this
So stoked.
fucking parade. It's almost like they just got the people that were in the parade. You assume from the Disney Planet, Disneyland, and
Yes.
they're like, just do that, but we'll give you more of a budget, and just go all out.
Yep.
And it's not as ridiculous per se as the animated film, but I
Mhm.
feel like they still were pretty ridiculous. Like we even get a cross-dressing Will
Oh
Smith,
my God, so good.
just hanging out, just like trying to egg everyone on to try and be all about Aladdin, uh, or Ali rather. They the Prince Ali, fabulous. Like I'm just like, yes, let's
Alibaba.
do this, yes, and they do all of those bits that you can remember for the first movie. They have all the random statues, the
hmm
100 camels of gold, like just all the little bits. They kind of bring it back in. We get Abu, who's a giant elephant now, but he doesn't ride the giant elephant. He's riding a float of a camel,
Yeah,
which I
big
thought
like
was
flower
interesting.
camel float.
Which I'm assuming they, like I said, they probably just repurposed that from whatever parade they have for Aladdin
Yeah.
in Disney Planet or Disneyland. But that was a little bit weird. Like they went to the trouble of making Abu a giant elephant, and he didn't
Yeah.
ride the giant elephant into town. It was just hanging out. Like, by the way, I have an elephant.
And I
That
can't
had,
remember if he rode the elephant in the animated one or not. I don't remember.
I want to say he did.
I don't remember.
Either way, the elephant did have a vest,
Yes. And
which
still
is
have a
pretty.
hat.
which is cool. They went ahead and added that detail. And during this whole grand procession, Jafar is really angry.
Yep.
He's just like this asshole. The Sultan is all about it. The handsmaid Dahlia is really into it, and Jasmine just can't deal with this stuff. Like the tryhard, she's just not about it.
Yep.
Well, I do appreciate, and I think this I can't remember from the original, is that Aladdin, at least here, in this element, which is not him being himself, is very awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if it was that awkward in the original animated film, but I think it's more endearing for how bad he is at being a prince. I do appreciate it. But anyways, he is, at least during the parade, like his wave face and just is real bad. Like he's just
pretty
like,
bad.
yeah. But then he starts throwing coins out, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. Assuming they're real coins, I don't know, because it's genie magic. They might disappear later. Just a big, just giant dick tease to all these people who haven't had food in a week that just got a gold coin that could probably feed themselves for a month, and you're like, oh, just fade into existence. Unless they traded it real quick, they got that shit transaction real fast, and then they're really sitting pretty. But anyways, and so we get an intro. We get to the similar scene to when the awkward dude, I don't even remember his name. I don't even know if it matters. But the first suitor.
Yeah.
Similar thing where it's just Aladdin and Genie hanging out, waiting for the procession to come meet them. And I thought the interesting thing about this moment was that they weren't, in the original suitor moment, there was a bunch of people behind them. And this one, it was just Aladdin, and it was just the Genie. But they bring him out later. So like they introduce him later. So essentially we get this weird, super awkward scene where Aladdin is supposed, and I'm sure this might be like some royalty rite of passage, or kind of this is just how we do things, is we present you with presents for being here, for doing this weird transaction of handing your daughter off to me, and so we're going to give you all the stuff, golden camels. And the real high point here was him saying all the jams he has, and the whole time the genie is just like, just stop, why are we doing this, don't do this. And stop with the jam. And Aladdin's just probably the most awkward and embarrassing moment that you can imagine. He's just nailing it, and he's saying all the wrong things. I'm here to buy you. You can't be bought. Like, just, oh, that's not what I meant. Like, he's just totally nervous beyond hell, does not know how to act like a prince. And it's kind of a reflection of the theme of the story, is that you should just be yourself, as opposed to trying to be something you're not. And this is kind of a really good poignant moment, or kind of explanation of that point, is that he's just not handling himself very well at all. And while the handmaid is just like, well, he's rich and he's trying hard, and Jasmine's just kind of like, well, that's the problem.
Yep.
We see later in the movie. But essentially it goes real bad, and to the point where Will Smith is kind of like, you know, I live in a very tiny brass lantern, and I'd rather be there than here right now, because this is fucking embarrassing. So Aladdin strikes out, swing and a miss, and we try and figure out how he can redeem himself, and then we have a dance. There was a party. Aladdin has never been to a party. Genie's like, don't ruin this for me, you jerk. I want to get my dance on. I got people to see, things to do. Don't ruin this for me. And Aladdin's like, okay, I guess I'll try. And we get some great scenes of him trying to walk up to Jasmine, but then the original suitor comes in with his awkward self, and she's like, oh my god, you're still here. Like, just like, yay! Like, thinking what we were all thinking, like, why is this asshole still here? Apparently he is. But I appreciate this scene from a personal standpoint, for the awkwardness of approaching someone in that sense. For me, because that very thing has happened to me before, and it might be just because the way I was raised is that I don't like interrupting
Yeah.
people. So when I see that happen, I would do just what he did and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just go sit over here and just wait till they're done. Just check the water to see if it's the right warmness. Like, and Judy's like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Just go talk to her. And like, I get it. I get where he's coming from a very different standpoint of just me being with a negative person in that situation, where it's like, oh, they're talking, I don't want to interrupt them. You see movies where like the confident person just like go ahead and does interrupt these people, and it ends up working out for them, or they're just an asshole. And like, I thought that scene, I was like, wow, was that for me? Like, that was cool, because I don't remember that in the original movie.
No, none of this was, but they did a really good job of making it very like relatable, right? Because it's still a Disney movie. And they did a good job of making it relatable for all the adults who either are going to see it for the nostalgia or going to see it because they have kids. And I thought it was really good, and how awkward he was through this just whole like 15, 20 minutes. I don't even know how long it was, but it was a really long time. And it was painful.
It was very painful. So we get, I'm trying to remember why they go dance, but Aladdin's trying to talk to her, and he's not having a good time again. And she's just like, I think he was trying to say something. He's like, I'm sorry for before, I messed up, and he knows he messed up. She just was not impressed, because she walks off during that intro, right? If I remember correctly.
I think she was like dance, like she was gonna. I don't know. I took it as her like gonna show him up, like, oh, you don't know how to dance the way we dance, right?
Is that what that was?
That's the way I took it.
Because it kind of read to me like she was trying to get away from something. And I was like, but I don't remember the original suitor being there to try and reinforce that that's what she was trying to get away from.
Yeah.
Maybe she's trying to get away from the fact that he's just being awkward and she's just done with this, so let's just dance. Either way, we get a dance, and apparently Aladdin doesn't know how to dance, which makes sense if he's never been to a party, and I can empathize. And he freaks out, and he's the whole time, he's like, Genie, what do I do? And she's like, I got you, bro, don't worry about it. And we get probably the most impressive dance sequence for an actor ever, because he has to act like he doesn't know how to dance, but then physically knows how to dance, but the whole time be visibly freaked out and not know what he's doing.
Yep.
And I think he nailed it, because the beginning, he's very much like, I'm doing these moves and I'm very uncomfortable with what I'm doing. And then by the end of it, he's kind of accepted that this is what's happening and totally gets into it. And when the genie goes way over the top and he starts doing flips and doing his own dance where everyone gets in a circle and starts cheering Ali's name and does the backflip, you can tell that the actor's like, okay, now I'm full in on this, and so I'm more comfortable. But I feel like it was a great performance of that actor to be able to pull that off convincingly, that he was like not in control of his body for most of that, and then kind of just succumbing to the genie's control. But all the while, it is just that actor dancing. Like, it's impressive to be able to dance that well, period. But be able to make it look like you don't know what you're doing while you are still dancing really well is quite impressive.
Yeah.
But either way, besides highlighting that, the key point of this scene is that he's trying hard again, and Jasmine's just not for it.
She just walks away.
Yeah, strike two. And we get the huddle again back in the room where the genie's like, hey, bro, we can do this. We can do this. And Lana's like, no, I fucked up again. Great bro scene. We also get the great girl scene where she's like, hey, he's trying hard. And she's like, that's the problem. And she's kind of like, do we get some scenes with her kind of explaining what she wants to do with the kingdom at this point?
Yeah, kind of how she like wants to take care of the people and that nobody understands. And yeah.
So here comes the third swing. We're setting it up for the third swing. Genie's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can do this. And he's like, well, I need some help. You need, there is a handmaiden I need you to distract. And Genie's like, oh, okay, I'm for this, because we learned that Genie kind of has a thing for the handmaiden, and handmaiden kind of has a thing for Genie. And we get a great call. It's a callback to me for like because you watched Hitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where in that movie he's set up to be like the ladies' man, setting up people, solving their problems, and then whenever he starts to try to do his love, he's awkward as fuck.
Yep.
And it's kind of a re-shot of that movie where he's at the door and he just doesn't know what he's doing, and he's like, we could walk like people, like, and just saying stuff that's like, why'd you say that, like. And we get great shots of the handmaiden shutting the door, like one moment shuts the door and she's like, oh, I'm fucking excited, and Jasmine's like, yeah, let's go. And and she does it twice, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, do you want to go for a stroll? And she's like, what? And he's like, we go on a walk. And she's like, one moment. And then she's like real excited, and Jasmine's like, get out there. And she's like, I accept. But she has like this weird jacket she put on and like a headdress, like, while she opened the door. And she's like, I've never done this before, but let's go ahead and talk. Like, she's very blunt, and they kind of just go off. And it turns out that while that happened, I guess Aladdin's plan was, I'm just going to creepily sneak into Jasmine's room. Bold move, I want to say. Doesn't work out.
For the fences.
He did. He's like, I'm already 2 strikes in. I'm just going to go for it. And he walks in, and it's Nala, right? The name of the Nasha? No, Nala's Raja. Nala's the fucking lion in Lion King.
Yes.
Raja. We forgot the scene earlier where Raja had smelled Aladdin when he was poor Aladdin, and was like, oh, I like him. And so she's all like, hey, bitch, what are you doing here? And Jasmine's like, don't move. And he's like, oh, God. But then we later get the scene where Raja realizes it's Aladdin and just like licks his entire face. Like, just tongue wide as his face, just goes all the way up it. And I was like, gross. I guess that's tongue accurate. I don't know. I've never been next to a tiger.
I also don't want a tiger's mouth that close to my face.
It's very true. But the key point is that the tiger knows that this is Aladdin. This is my boy. And might be first clue for Jasmine that this is who this is. Which maybe she should realize, because it's just him. But
genie magic.
But that's a key point of this movie too, is that you're presented how you are, and if you're presented as rich, people look at you differently than when you are poor. Maybe they don't even look at you when you're poor. So it's kind of like an important point of the film to kind of like address that. Anyways, so we get some more awkward talk. She's like, where's Alibaba? And he's like, I need a genie. I need help. Where is it on this map? And then Genie's like, just be yourself, bro. I don't need to show you the map. And we get a great scene where he's panicking. And she's like, did you forget where your country is? He's like, no, it's right here. And he points his finger down. And we see he drew it in. And she's like, oh, I can't believe I missed that. And they kind of go off. And we kind of get to the point where we get the great fucking scene where he's like, well, maps are stupid. Why do people like maps? And she's like, actually, I love maps. And he's like, shit.
Failing already.
Yeah, he took a shot, and he was just like, no, my bad. Real quick, we're going to stop real quick because you froze on my screen.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm frozen, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to end the call you back, and we'll get started again.
Okay.
All right, and so coming back into the scene we were just talking about, great awkwardness again. Aladdin's not really, he's not doing too great anymore. I mean, he's already 2 strikes in, so maybe like the leniency is not very great. But we get to the point where she just hasn't been around the world. Mm-hmm. She's very much stuck where she is, and he's like, baby, I can show you the world. And everyone's like, yes, here is the scene. Here we go. And I mean, I'm just glossing over it, but essentially it's a great scene, and it's a great recreation of the animated film, where he's just like, let's go do this damn thing. You want to get on this magic carpet ride with me? And she's just like, yeah, let's go. We get a great rendition again. They get the similar with the animated film, where he's kind of like, do you trust me? I forgot about that from the beginning part. Mm-hmm. It's a great recall back. It's another clue for her to be like, this is Aladdin. And we come to the second time I get goosebumps in this movie was A Whole New World live action. And it was pretty fucking great.
It was awesome.
It was good because it was both them. They both sing. So this is not someone trying to voice over these actors' voices. It was them singing this scene. And it was great. The way they were able to CGI them just being probably on a stationary thing, but also just flying through all over the place, and she's having a great time, and it's a great recreation of the scene that it's probably very easy to get into an awkward phase, but I think they fucking nailed it.
Yeah. I loved it.
Go ahead, keep talking about it. I'm gonna drink some.
So I loved it. I love that they didn't, there were other musical numbers that they kind of took, especially with Will Smith, right, and made a little more like pop and new, but I felt like they really stuck to the roots of A Whole New World, and I feel like that would have been the one that if they tried to change it too much, I might have been kind of sad about it. So it was so good, and they both are really good singers. I thought it was really good. And then, obviously, again, not as quite as ridiculous or extensive as the animated film, right? They go by like one of the sphinxes in the animated film. I don't know why I distinctly remember that, but I do. But this is a lot more around Agrabah, and then they're just kind of like sitting up above the city.
Went by Jupiter.
Yeah.
I do remember that scene where she drags her fingers in the lake or something.
Yeah.
That didn't happen in this one, but that's fine. It's not big
That's
deal.
true, yeah.
Yeah. But this is where Aladdin swings for the fences and fucking gets that home run. Like if there was one thing you could do to win Jasmine's favor, it was to take her away where she couldn't normally go. Yep. It's not the whole thing, right? It's not like the only thing he did, but that's a big point where you just kind of the sweep her off her feet moment, or like to do the thing that totally tugs at her heartstrings.
Yep.
But I think the part that kind of hits it home is where they're hanging out in, I forgot the name of the fucking town again.
Agrabah.
And they're watching a group of people like celebrating around a fire, and that's really where she kind of fully expresses that her mom said that a kingdom is as good as its poorest person, or that kind of idea, that sentiment, where they kind of express in teamwork, where you're as strong as the weakest link of your chain. But that's kind of like her mom lived her life and how she ruled, and her watching her people just be who they are, kind of like really hit home with her, and she's just really into this moment. And Aladdin's kind of like, yeah, it's great to go from a different perspective, or see things from a different perspective, but she's like, that's not what it's about. It's them being who they are, and I care about this, but I don't get to see it. And this is where she kind of is like, so yeah, where's Abu? And he's like, oh, he's not here. What the fuck are you talking about, lady? Oh, like he's just like,
dang it.
So he gets caught, and I can't remember from the original movie the way in this movie he plays it off that, oh, when I was Aladdin, I was doing some reconnaissance to get to know the town before I tried to sweep you off your feet, before I tried to suit you. This is how I do things, I guess. And I was like, I don't think that's how they played that in the movie.
I don't remember. And this is, again, why we can rant about this later, but why I tried to find a DVD copy of original Aladdin before this, because it's been too many years. But, Disney.
Yeah, but it didn't sound familiar to me. When I watched
I don't remember how she figured it out.
Before. It was a similar thing where she was like, "Where's Abu?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." Like that was the same. But I don't remember him trying to play it off that, oh no, I'm actually a prince and I was just being a poor boy.
Like he just took it in the edited one.
I don't remember if that's true or not. And I'm sorry if I forgot that. But anyways, we'll continue on. He's like, well, I think we should leave. And she's like, this is a weird scene. I don't know if you noticed it when you watched it. But he's kind of like, well, we better get back. And she's like, already? And I was kind of like, that's your sign to just not leave, dude. Like,
Yeah.
she really doesn't want to leave right now. But he's like, yeah, we'll leave, and just leaves. And I'm like, man, missed opportunity, I think. I
Yep.
don't know. She seemed pretty content where she was, man. And I don't know what you got to do later. Like,
Yeah, no, he missed all the signs there. He doesn't have a lot of game. He's really struggling.
and I can sympathize, but that one at least I noticed. And not to say that if I was in his shoes, I would have handled it smoothly, but I probably would have been like, or not, and then see where it went from there. But anyways, he takes her home. We get a great scene where she drops her off at her room,
Hmm.
and we get the magic carpet pushing him up for the kiss, which is great. Again, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And I can't remember if in the animated film when it pushes him to kiss her, if they go right into kissing, because in this movie it pushes him towards her into an awkward like we're already here
Yeah.
kind of position. We're already 90% here. Might as well kiss at this point. Like
Might as well.
we're both into it. Let's just go ahead and do this. As opposed to, I think the anime film just pushed him all the way in.
I think it was right into it.
Okay, so maybe that was a change for the more realistic, in the sense that if someone was pushed all the way, uh, it would probably not work out well in the sense of human reaction. Where it's just like, like it's just what's going on, and then like teeth hit teeth, and it's just
Yeah,
not good.
not great. You could also go back
Uh,
to that whole Hitch thing, right? It's like 90-10.
yeah,
Like Carpet got
exactly.
a 90.
He's like, I'm just gonna let you finish that 10, bro. He's like, I got this. Um, so yeah, they have their kiss, and he does the great fallback into the carpet, where he's just like, ah, man, tonight was swell, and just swings back to the genie, and she's like, that's a good face, and he's like, man, this is awesome, and we get an interesting turn, and I can't remember if this is from the animated film, but essentially what happens is Aladdin's all about this. He's like, I totally nailed it, bro. I know I promised you, and I kind of missed that. We missed that earlier in
Hmm.
part one, where he had said, well, I'll wish you free on the third wish. Totally, bro. I got your back. And then this one, it kind of makes it seem like Aladdin's like, no, I'm almost there. I'm going to use my last wish to get me above the hump. And then the genie's kind of like, oh, you are kind of drinking from that cup. You are you're kind of
Yeah.
enjoying the power that you have here. Um, I can see where this is going, and that's kind of where he's kind of being discouraged and just kind of like, oh man, it's gonna be lame, um, because he's the key point that genie's kind of making. It's kind of the key theme of this whole movie is that you're going to keep lying to her. You're going to keep assuming. You're going to keep telling her
Yep.
that you are actually a prince, not a poor person, and just kind of keep living with that lie. And Genie's kind of like, it's not going to work. It's gonna, the truth is going to be told at some point. Why not just do it now? And Aladdin's like, nah, bro, I got this. We're going to keep doing this. And so it's kind of a turn for Aladdin kind of being a dick. And I was like, I can't remember if that happened in the animated film.
It does. So like you get this turn, right, where Aladdin's this really great guy who's poor and like just tries to help people out and only steals when he has to. And then he's a cool dude and he's like, yeah, Genie, like I don't need three wishes, right? Like I don't need it. I'll free you. I'll be a good person because you've never been freed or whatever. And then you get this turn of like the greed, right? It's like showing that greed too of human nature where you maybe everything is never enough, right? So I definitely remember it from the animated movie. I don't remember if it was done in the same way, but there was definitely a point in the animated movie where he was like, "Oh, but I may need that third wish.
Yeah.
Like
Either
I'm
way,
not gonna free you." But
either way, it's
I
kind of
think
lame.
it was more of a I need you to keep up this prince facade so I can't free you in the animated movie, if I remember correctly. I think that's what it was.
Okay. Either way, we kind of get some kind of churn of Aladdin's character where he starts to be into the kind of getting greedy, kind of
Mm-hmm.
enjoying the power he's getting, and he kind of being more selfish than we traditionally know his character to be up until this point. And the genie's kind of bummed. We kind of get it. And I'm trying to remember what happens after this point. I think they have a fight. The genie, that was the fight. So the genie goes back into the lamp. And Aladdin's like, well, I'm going to go for a walk. And that's essentially what ends up happening. I think actually, hold on. No, he doesn't go for a walk. He just goes out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Jafar kidnaps him.
Yep.
All right, I'm back on track. That's where Jafar kidnaps him because he doesn't really trust Ali, but he starts noticing some points and he starts trying to think like maybe he's actually Aladdin because...
I think Iago sees something. I don't remember what it was, but I think Iago sees something.
Iago's been constantly fucking Big Brother surveillance this entire movie on Aladdin. Like, just every moment that happens, we see Iago like, that's interesting, and then kind of goes and reports back to Jafar. So essentially, Jafar has the idea that maybe this is Aladdin, so he kidnaps Ali, kind of tortures him by threatening to throw him over into the water, and Ali at this point is kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about, and Jafar is kind of like, well, I'm going to throw you off this ledge, and if you are Ali, you'll die in the water, or you're Aladdin, and then the genie will save you. So either way, it's a win-win for me. And so he drops his ass off. During this point, Abu gets with Magic Carpet to get the lamp to try and save him. But the whole while, Aladdin's drowning in the water. And just I remember this scene specifically from the cartoon. Aladdin tries to rub the lamp, but he ends up like taking too much water on, passes out, but kind of nicks it, and so the genie's like, oh shit, what's going on? Oh fuck, you're dying. I can't save you unless you wish me to. And it's just a weird rule of the wishes. It's just like, dude, this is your bro. Just bring him up. Like, you don't have to, like,
friends. Genies don't have friends.
I guess I get it, but it's just like, just take him to the top. And just let him breathe a little bit, and then it's not like a wish, right? Like it's not like, of all the things and all the powers in the cosmos you have, getting him above fucking water doesn't seem that much of like a stretch.
Yeah, that's true.
But he turns it into that because he like turns into a fucking cyclone, shoots him up in the air, and then teleports him back to the room.
Yeah.
But anyways, we get to see where he's like, well, I can't do this, but I'm gonna sign my contract to retroactively say if you're ever in immediate danger, I can save you, and you're gonna sign it, and I'm gonna date it back to two days ago. Is that cool with you? Okay, cool. And then just saves him. So he finds a way to burn a second wish to save Aladdin, and Aladdin is kind of very appreciative of that. He's like, no, whatever it took. I'm glad you did it. I'm glad I'm alive. He's kind of coming back from being an asshole at this point. He's just like, awesome. And they're like, what do we do now? What do we do now? Jafar tried to kill us. He's very much an asshole, we found out. I mean, he's always an asshole, but he's a real asshole now. Like, he's a proper cunt, as I like to say, from some British movies. And by the way, I feel remiss that this is the only point that I remember to mention that Guy Ritchie is the director of this film. Guy Ritchie being one of my favorite directors, directed movies like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch, and Rock and Rolla, and Revolver. So I'm kind of bummed out that this is the only point I mentioned that. But either way, I use the term proper cunt, and I'm happy about it. So they were like, what do we do now? What are we going to do? They have the idea to go to Jasmine because Jasmine is cool and she's a good person. So like, hey, Jafar is probably an evil asshole, and he's probably not good for your dad, the Sultan. Also, he tried to kill me. So we get a great scene where they set up essentially Jafar, where they're like, Jasmine's. So this is a great scene for Jasmine, just being the fully confident, like, awesome, powerful woman she is, where she's just all about this. She's like, oh, he's dead, is he? Like, just like totally owning this. Like, just like, I have this fucking card up my sleeve, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna eat this whole scene up right now. I have this ace up my sleeve, and I can't wait to play it, but I'm gonna fucking stretch this moment out so you can eat it. And because like Jafar goes to the Sultan, he's like, oh, and then Ali ran off and said he's gonna invade us, so we should probably invade that one town that her mom lived in for some reason.
Invading Bob or whatever.
It's right next to it. It's fine. That's like he really wants to invade this place. It's like, by the way, did I mention that Alibaba is right next to the place I want to invade anyways? It's a good strategic target. Let's go ahead and invade that. So Jasmine's like, oh, right, bitch. And then it's like, what about this? And Ali steps out and is just like, hey, Jafar is kind of a dick. And he also tried to kill me. And he's probably been manipulating you this whole time.
Yep.
And we get the last-ditch effort of Jafar trying to use the staff to hypnotize the Sultan. I thought it was interesting at this point, earlier in the movie, whenever Jafar actually tries to use the staff on Aladdin, the genie kind of interrupts it. And it's like, so the genie kind of understands what's going on in that moment. Yeah. But in this scene, later in the movie, when Jafar is trying to hypnotize the Sultan, the only person that seems to know what's going on is Aladdin.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because of the genie rules and what he can do and what he can't do, if that's what's going on. I just thought it was interesting that the genie was...
I couldn't decide if it was like Genie told him, he was like, bro, he was trying to hypnotize you. He's a sketchy bitch. Or, like, earlier. Or if Aladdin, because he almost got hypnotized or, like, got initially hypnotized, I don't know how it works, was like, oh, and then smashed the snake. I don't really know, honestly.
Yeah. Either way, Aladdin notices it, grabs a staff, and just fucking smashes that shit. And then the Sultan's like, oh. And they kind of like just really lay it on real quick right here. It's like, oh, he was hypnotizing you. He's totally an evil douchebag. He's probably been doing that for who knows how long. And the Sultan's like, how dare you? You were my trusted advisor. And then we get the evil speech from Jafar was like, you always said I was second best and I should be in my place and you're fucking stupid and this is whatever. And so they throw him into the dungeon. Not before Iago runs away. That's a callback. So what point are we at right now? We're at a point where that's fine. Mm-hmm. Aladdin and the genie are back in their room. I don't think Jasmine's doing anything at this point.
Nah.
But we get the key point. I think this is where the big fight happens. We already talked about it, but I think this is actually where the big fight happens because the end result is Aladdin going off to walk it off.
Like we're in the city, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what this fight was about though, like because they fought earlier and that's why he went into the lamp. But maybe it was like, you're still going to lie to her, like faux real.
Right. At this point, like, it seems like we're pretty cool. We're on good terms. Everyone should just be honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm going to keep lying. But anyways, Genie gets in the lamp. Aladdin takes the lamp for safekeeping as he goes to walk it off in town. Iago happens to get a key so Jafar can get out of the dungeon. And we get to see Jafar's pickpocketing skills in action as he steals the lamp from Aladdin, as Aladdin goes to his old pad in his Prince Ali outfit to do the Street Rat rendition song again.
Yep.
I'm a street rat, I don't buy that. Yeah, it's fun. It's like a fun little brooding song, like half singing song theme. While he's over there brooding, some real shit's going down back at the palace.
Yeah.
Jafar has his lamp. He's on the steps of the altar with the lamp in his lap. He's just ready to fucking rub it. looking like he's about to, just looking really appropriate. The more I think about it, he's just like really about to rub it. And
the way you described it makes it way worse.
if you think about it, it's how it was. It's just we knew the situation, the standards. But I'm not inaccurately describing what he was doing.
No, sure.
But so Sultan's like, what are you doing here, asshole? You should have left if you got out of the dungeon. He's like, no, bro, I got a lamp. And everyone's like, oh, what's going on? And so he goes this whole spiel, how you always said I should keep my place. You're always holding me back. You're a dumbass. Let's just kind of just doing his evil guy speech or evil bad guy speech. Rubs his lamp. Genie pops out. Handsmaid recognizes that's who the genie is. She's really like, and Genie's just all sad because he knows that he's the servant of an asshole now, of that guy, as they always like to say in that movie. And so the first wish for Jafar, of course, shut up, Siri, is to become Sultan. Which was an interesting transition. Because if I remember from the original movie, he imprisons the Sultan.
Mm-hmm.
So that it seems like the Sultan's dead and that he should take over.
Yes, and so this whole part was very different for me from what I remember.
Yeah.
They cut out a lot of stuff, which I get.
Because essentially all that happens when he wishes to be Sultan is that everything gets a evil, bent Martha Stewart makeover.
Basically. It's like in Emperor's New Groove when what's her name? Did you watch Emperor's New Groove?
Was that the one with the llamas?
Yes.
Yes, I did watch it.
Okay. So when they have the Emperor's funeral, she's like, all right, he's dead, whatever. She throws the candle and all her like stuff rolls out, right? With all her colors. Like that's basically what happened. Yeah.
And he gets a more impressive outfit that's still his shade of asshole. And so it's not that much different, but it's a little bit different. And then the head guardsman, I'm going to look his name up because I feel remiss if I don't get his name right.
They used it a lot and I can't remember. Because it was not in the original movie.
No, yeah, I think they made him more of an important character in this movie.
Yeah.
So I think I would forgive us for not remembering him as I misspell Aladdin.
Yeah, it's not like all the others that like it's been the same names the whole time.
Let's see, why don't you eat up some time, talk about some shit you want to talk about?
Yeah, so actually one thing I was thinking about is that they really changed the kind of character that the Sultan was. In the animated movie, he was like a big man baby that just like played with toys, and Jafar kind of charmed his way into telling him what to do. And Jasmine loved him, but knew like, you're a man baby. So they made him more of like a sultanesque, whatever figure in this, which I thought made a lot more sense with the way they took Jasmine too. And it made more sense that Jafar maybe couldn't talk him into more things, so he was just more of like a warmongering asshole. In the grand scheme of things.
He had a more he had more of a presence. He was more of an Odin, if you will.
Yes.
From the Thor movies. Where like, no, he knows his shit. Like he handles his business well. And that's actually a good point. He actually felt useful. By the way, the head soldier, the head security guard, if you will, was Hakim.
Oh, that's right.
So all the Martha Stewart does her dark makeover of the palace. He gets a makeover of his outfit that looks more sultan-y, but still red and gray and red and black and yellow. And then the chair has serpents on the armrests instead of just regular armrests. And then he's like, "Yo, Hakim, I'm Sultan now, bitch." And Hakim's like, "Oh, bylaws. Yeah, you're the Sultan.
Technically,
like, you met all the check marks. so I'm going to change my allegiance now. Like,
Yeah.
the genie made it happen, so I'm going to go ahead and just, like, be like, well, letter of the law is that you are sultan now, I guess. It's a weird thing they kind of glossed over. That I think is better explained in the animated film. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think they make it seem like the Sultan's dead, and then they kind of manipulate who would take over legally from um like the next up, right? Like the
Yeah.
next person to take office kind of shit. And in this movie they're just kind of like, nah, I'm Sultan now.
Suck it, bro.
And so Hakim's like, well, I guess the law says I have to protect the Sultan, so I will. And they take, and then we already kind of glossed over. I figure we already, we didn't totally gloss over it, but the first musical scene that was the brand new musical scene with Jasmine whenever she was taken
Yeah.
away, because she wasn't. They were all like, "You shouldn't talk. You're a woman. Get out of
You
here."
have to get married. You can't be sultan.
We get a great, in a vacuum, maybe a great musical scene where she's
Yeah.
kind of describing how she's not going to stay quiet.
Mm-hmm. I think it's Speechless.
Yeah, I'm
Is the
not going to
song
be
name? Yeah.
speechless.
Yeah.
Basically kind of expressing her feelings of like, no, I am worthy of being at the table. I
Yep.
can voice my opinion, even though everyone says I shouldn't be able to. That's bullshit. I can be. I have as much value as everyone else at this table.
Yep.
And so we get a recreation of that musical number as she's getting taken away because Sultan, not Sultan, yeah, I guess he is the new Sultan, as Jafar, is like pretty much killing Sultan, the real Sultan, and the handsmaid, and is like, the only way I can really fuck you over, Sultan, is if I marry your daughter, just to like ram it home. And pretty much just like killing them to make Jasmine agree to marry him. And she ends up, he's like, yo, get her out of here. As I guess he's just done with her. And so while she's getting taken away, like the scene we kind of already talked before we started shooting this was an interesting scene where they bring back the speechless musical scene as she's getting taken away. And we get an interesting scene where the two guards next to her disappear as she does her scene. And this is like a longer version of the speechless music number, where she expresses the same ideas. And she walks up back into the room and sees her dad, and he disappears, and every other guard disappears. She walks up to Jafar and talks to his face, and she's like, I'm not going to be speechless, I'm going to be strong. And he disappears. And so it was like a scene that was all in her head.
It's like one of those when you plan out your fight before you have the fight.
Yeah, I guess it's a decent way to describe it. Like, to be fair, if we're going to go ahead and call it back, Guy Ritchie, director of the movies Sherlock Holmes, where that very thing you described happens, right? So Sherlock likes to plan, like in the movies, he plans out every single thing that's going to happen in a fist fight, and then we rewind back to him, and then we do it real fast. Yeah. So that's actually a good fucking call. Good for you. You should be on these shows more often. And we get the scene, like you said, where she's kind of imagining what she's going to do while she tells everyone off, and then we rewind back where she's like, but she chooses a different strategy. She doesn't just like go, talk shit straight to Jafar. She's like, Hakim, you first were brought into the palace whenever my father allowed your father to be part of, I think he was a
gardener or something.
Yeah, he'd like to be part of the staff. You've come so much further that you're their most trusted soldier. I understand that you think you should follow the rule of the law, but sometimes what's right isn't what's written. That dude's an asshole. We are cool. Get on our side, motherfucker. And Hakim's like, you're making a lot of good points.
This also reinforces her whole thing, right? Of like, she knows her people and she wants to like be with like supporting her people. And I think it's a really good way that they come back around to like, she's really people centric and that's why she wants to rule. It's not like a power thing for her. It's a taking care of the people she's supposed to take care of.
Exactly. She is very much in touch with the people that she rules over. And you're right. This is a very good scene to address and to reinforce that. where she knows exactly the motivations of this particular subject for hers that we don't really get too much details on up until this point. Just that he's a name. And he's like, "You're right, fuck that guy, take him in." And then I think this is where, yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is where he takes a second wish to become the most powerful sorcerer on the planet. So then he just disappears everyone. Thanos snaps their ass, and he's like, "You're gone." Yeah. Except they're in the dungeon. That's all that happened. So we are left with Jafar, who's now the most powerful sorcerer in the world. I think all the people that are left in the building now are Jasmine. I think the Sultan's still there, and maybe the handmaids.
Yeah, still there. Yep.
And so it's just them. Like every other guard is gone.
He did a nice little dusting of them.
And then we start to notice, and I forgot to mention the point, whenever all this shenanigans started happening, Aladdin realizes that his lamp is gone and realizes he got pickpocketed by Jafar, and he finds his way back to the palace. The genie sees him and is kind of like, no, right now. He's like, don't know. He can see you.
He's doing the whole like, nah, bro.
Yeah. And so the plan in Aladdin's head is to grab the lamp to... I'm assuming he's going to use his last wish in this moment.
That was my assumption.
So while Jafar is going off on Jasmine and the Sultan, he goes for it and he gets caught because of Iago, that motherfucker. And Iago's like, "Oh my god, Aladdin, for the lamp." And then Jafar does the sorcerer shit and stops him, brings him, and then this is where we get to see him reveal that no, he's not Prince Ali, who is faking to be Aladdin. He's Aladdin, who's faking to be Ali. And I guess we get a good shot of Jasmine kind of being hurt by that, but there's a lot of other shit going on right now. So like, it's a real quick disappointment to where she's like, "Oh, really, bitch?" And then Jafar's like, "Well, I'm gonna kill you by sending you to the fucking Antarctic." And she's like, "Oh, fuck, I don't want him to die." Like, it's just
like I'm mad at him, but not that mad.
And so he goes to the winter. He goes to some wintry place, probably North or South Pole. Abu is there. He got transported as well. And we get a cool scene where Carpet goes to Genie. He's like, "Hey, bro, send me back to that place so I can save him." And Genie's like, "Oh, shit." And just like magically transports.
He does like, it's really crazy. He goes, "Pooh."
It's a real small exercise of his magic to not transgress any laws of genieism, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's essentially, Aladdin saves Abu, but he's in the tundra. He's about to die, but then the magic carpet is there and takes... So what is the max flying speed of a magic carpet?
It's a magic carpet. I don't feel like there's an answer to that. There might have been like a time hop portal. I'm honestly not sure. I thought that during the movie. I'm like, man, he got back really fast.
He's going to be booking to get fucking back to wherever the hell he is.
Maybe you just send him to the top of a mountain because, like, right, deserts have mountains.
That's true. That's how deserts happen. There are mountains that block most of the moisture and weather, and that's why you have like green, and then desert. So that's true. Either way, I still think he went pretty fast.
I don't know. Their maps were really small.
That's true too.
They put a lot on their maps.
This must have been back when it was Pangea and it was all just one big continent. So that's how Aladdin's getting back. We got his out. He's hopping on the magic carpet with Abu to get back to the palace. But anyways, Jafar has his own plans. He's convinced Jasmine that they're gonna get married because he's gonna kill everyone essentially. They have the ceremony. It's all set up. Jasmine is not really having a good time. This seems really awkward. Everyone's kind of like, I guess this is what we're doing. And the priest is, I guess it's priest, I don't know, the person who's gonna to do the marriage, to execute the marriage license, I guess, is kind of like, this seems weird, but do you take her? And Jafar's like, shut up, yes, I do. And then he's like, oh, well, do you take him to be? And she kind of pauses and sees a lamp on his hip, and she's looking past the priest and sees the magic carpet, the perfect
Yeah.
fucking moment coming from the horizon, and she's like, I don't, and just fucking grabs that lamp, and then runs off the ledge, pulling a
Yep.
lad from previous in the movie. Magic carpet, I guess, changed his course, right? Because he was above
Yep.
the fucking night. It was like, oh shit! It's just like, I hope you're holding on, dude. Like, I gotta go save her ass.
This
And
is a total flashback. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But to this whole scene that they cut out where when Aladdin tries to steal the lamp the first time in the animated movie, Jafar gets really pissed and puts Jasmine, who's in this skimpy, like kind of slutty, like right
yeah,
for like 90s.
Princess
Uh,
Leia connected.
yeah. Puts
Yeah.
her in the hourglass, right? And it's all crazy. Aladdin gets sent off. But then to get the lamp back, she can Jasmine convinces Jafar she's like coming on to him essentially and is like kissing him, and that's how she steals the lamp. So it was like a good flashback while keeping it very PG and not having to kiss like sleazy Jafar.
I still cringe. I forgot about that, but I'm cringing now as you described it.
Awful. And it's like tongue kiss. It's not like
Ugh,
a little peck on the lips. She's full on going for it so she can steal the lamps during the animated
ugh.
one.
Yeah. Anyways, we get a great chase scene where Iago turns into a giant fucking monster bird.
Yep.
That's fucking frightening.
About the monster bird.
And he starts going after them, and it's Apu and Aladdin doing hijinks and parkour, and try and get the lamp away from Jafar.
Totally in their element.
Yep, and they end up failing because Jafar goes full fucking sorcerer, mad guy scream, and just raw. That's essentially what it does, and like everything goes his way. The trellises of the fucking fence just turn evil. Like they just sprout. They sprout like neo-gothic fucking.
It's very Disney, okay? It's very Disney.
Just be like, it's evil now. Like before it was fine, but now it's evil. But he does this tornado shit essentially, and just whips everyone back to the palace again. And it's just like, you guys, I'm the most powerful thing on this planet. You guys are dumb. Like, I'll just let you guys play around. So he has a lamp. Aladdin's there. Jasmine's there. He puts everyone in this weird limbo, like it's weird, like case of not being able to move.
Yeah.
And Aladdin, he has one shot because he knows from previous in the speech that second, like the way Jafar views the world is second place is not enough. You're either the most powerful or you're nothing. And so Aladdin busts out his wit, his way with words, which is kind of less highlighted from the scene earlier whenever Abu just kind of hides the lamp, because in the original animated film he twists the words around so the genie does him a free wish.
Yeah.
Which kind of takes away from this scene because he does the same thing with Jafar. In my opinion, I think in the animated film being able to reiterate back like he's just good at fucking manipulating people.
Yeah.
It kind of takes away from it in this scene that he's just like, oh, now I have a way with words. But anyways, it's not a big deal. It's kind of an interesting choice.
So I was disappointed with the change too, but I didn't think about it in that frame. I just thought about like, it was really funny that he immediately meets Genie and then tricks him. Right? Like tricks him with his wit, not with sleight of hand. But yeah, so tying it back totally makes it, yeah.
Either way, he totally plays on the fact that Jafar must be the most powerful being in the world, and he's like, you know what's more powerful than the sorcerer? Fucking Genie, bro. They could do
He
it.
made you.
Yeah. He made you what you are, and he could take it away from you just as fast. And he has all the power in the cosmos, bro. Why don't you do that? And Jafar's like, you're right. That's what I'm gonna do. And the whole time Genie's like, oh shit, bro, I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing there. I'm following you. I'm following you. And so Jafar's like, make me. He doesn't ask to be a genie. He's just like, make me the most powerful
being or something, I think is what he
like
says.
maybe the most powerful being in the world. And the genie's like, I got, well, that's kind of a gray area, but okay. Like he uses like the letter of the law and bends it to be like, well, I'm just
Yep.
gonna give you a genie because I know the plan, what's going on right now. So he makes Jafar a genie, and Jafar is all like big and buff and shit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the fucking most powerful thing in the world. First thing I'm gonna do is do what's been giving me a fucking evil boner and destroy that one town I keep wanting to destroy." Like it's just like like we never get an explanation of why he wants to destroy that town, but it keeps coming back up. He's just like, I want to kill that town. But then he slowly learns that he's a genie now because he gets the hand clasps. They like
Hmm.
lock him into servitude, and but genie without a master is nothing. So he just chills in his lamp, and he would get him, and he's like, "Oh my God, you got me, Aladdin, you asshole! I'm gonna remember this, and I'm gonna take my bird with me." And it was the
Like
same in the end.
rude.
Yeah, it was the same in the animated film. But he's just like, "No,
Yeah.
you're coming with me, bitch." And he gets sucked into the lamp. It's an evil version of the lamp. I thought it was a lot more evil looking in the animated film than this
Yeah.
version. Um, Either way, he's in the lamp. Aladdin did it. He got him. And that is probably the end of the second act. What, if any, more thoughts do you have on the second act of this film?
Hmm. I was so like the only big musical change was the Speechless song, right? Jasmine's song. And as much as I like the song, I think her singing's great. I was excited about the first time they introduced the song. Thought it was cool. I felt like that second part where she's like planning out the fight, right? Like, I'm gonna tell him this, and whatever, was a little more forced and felt more like they were trying to create this big moment when it maybe wasn't needed. Like, I don't think it added anything having that song there than if she had just like kind of had like a realization moment on her face and turned around and done the exact same thing. I don't think
Yeah.
it added anything.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way because I was trying to trying to think about it. Like if they didn't have the first time the speechless music number
Mhm.
happened and only left it to the second one,
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. And I don't think it would.
Nope.
So having the speechless scene when it happened, when it did, and then recreating it the second time makes more sense than the first scenario I presented you with.
Yeah, yeah.
But what you're saying, I think, might make more sense where you keep the original scene, but instead of having a second musical number with Speechless, you kind of have a less bigger deal scene uh, where maybe we get like the beginnings of the song, like the couple key notes to
Like in
kind
her
of
head
remind
or something. Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then she just has the gumption and kind of like tells everyone off. I think that probably might have been a little bit better. Um, that would have been a better way to handle it.
Because I was
Not that
lost for a minute. I was like, is there magic? Is she like doing something right now? And then I was like, in her head. Never mind.
got it. It's just in her mind. She's just like focusing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably. I think that's a fair point. I think like that might be a better way to have handled that situation. Um, I did remember watching it and kind of feeling like it was weird. So I think it did kind of bring me out of the
Yeah.
movie to think about the moment, which is kind of a bad thing when you're watching a movie to kind of being brought out of it. So yeah, I feel like that's a fair criticism. And I feel like I kind of feel the same way you do as far as that scene goes.
Yeah.
Um,
But overall, really stoked about like the new song and having Jasmine have this really awesome, more independent, stronger role. I think that's awesome. It's great. And it wasn't forced, I didn't feel like. Um, I was a little sad that they took a lot out of this like evil scene with Jafar though. Right? We get in the animated film, and I honestly can't even remember all of it, but there's this huge snake and it's like choking Aladdin and you get all this cool evil stuff. And this time it was like, I'm a sorcerer. It wasn't as good.
he's really hamming it home in the animated film, from what I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, and his evil streak is very shortened in this film. Maybe it's just timing and deciding where you want to put money, but
Yeah.
it did feel like a little truncated as far as his being evilness. Because this third act is real fucking quick.
Yep.
We're about to sum this shit up here real quick. Um, But before, do you have any other lasting thoughts before we do this?
No, not really.
So let's take a break before
Cool.
we get started with the last act and other thoughts. But let's go ahead and end it real quick so that I don't lose audio.
Sounds good.
Okay, and welcome back for our last segment. We're going to cover Act 3, which would be the resolution of this film, which is pretty fucking quick. So, Jafar is now a genie, and his ass was thrown into the Cave of Wonders.
Mhm.
Right. And we get a pretty awesome scene where Aladdin sees everyone's okay, and he kind of gives his heartfelt apology to the Sultan for lying to him, but mostly to Jasmine for lying to her multiple times. I'm trying to count them real quick. Like, he's lied to her quite a bit.
He straight up lied to him multiple times. Yeah.
To be fair, she's also lied to him. Not as many times, but she did.
Fair. Fair. Okay.
So he gives him, like, I fucked up. I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
so you guys are okay. Everyone's alive. I'm going to go to the back of the corner, take care of my business, let you guys do your thing. And so we'll sum up the Jasmine Sultan great scene where through this whole entire time, and we I glossed over it, but whenever Jasmine kind of stands up to Jafar, gets Hakeem on his side, kind of says, I'm not going to stand for this shit. We get a great scene of the Sultan kind of taking in how his daughter has grown and how powerful she is and how much of a person that her own person that she is.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts crying up like during that scene. It was a great scene that I kind of glossed over, where he's kind of seeing that her, his daughter is fully capable of what would be required of a sultan for the kingdom. And this I bring it up because this last scene is where the sultan looks real kind of fucking tired. Like he's just like, I've been through some shit and I'm kind of done. And so he's kind of like, you know what? Fuck it in the bucket. I'm gonna go ahead and make you sultan. Screw what everyone else is saying. You're gonna be the first woman sultan. It's gonna be great. By the way, when you're sultan, you can change the rules and you can marry whoever the fuck you want.
Yep.
So that was a great touching scene. It was great to see Jasmine kind of like get the fulfillment that she's been wanting, feel like she's achieved the status that she's always wanted to have and the power that she's always felt that she's deserved and honestly that she's earned, and to be able to do the things she's wanted to do, be inspired by her mother. While that's happening, Aladdin is in the back, and the genie's like, okay, so I got another plan. What if we make you a warrior prince? And you have a big bow, and we'll take it from that route. You can win her heart that way. So it's an interesting scene where we get a reiteration, and maybe we didn't cover it earlier enough, where the genie doesn't ever have friends, but Aladdin is very much the genie's friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of established that throughout the movie, but in this point, he is so much of a friend that he kind of, what upset him earlier in the movie, the fact that Aladdin wasn't going to free him, kind of he glosses over because he's now friends with Aladdin. He's like, okay, bro, we got one more wish. I think we can pull this out. I think we can fucking make this thing work.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty endearing scene. And Aladdin's kind of eating it up, like, oh yeah, we'll totally do that. We'll totally do that. And he's like, genie's like rubbing his fist together. He's like, let's do this. Wish three. And then rubs the lamp. He's like, I wish to you to be free. And genie's like, wait, what? And then we get
It's like
the
he
great
was getting
scene.
his fingers ready, and then he was like, wait a second.
Yeah. And we get a great scene where like his shackles kind of detach. And he's like, are you serious? And Aladdin's just kind of like, yeah. And we get him to become human again, more Will Smith looking genie than he is magical blue genie. And he's kind of like, I don't know what to say. This is for real. And then they get a good touching moment where they hug, and Aladdin's like, yeah, You did everything for me. I owe you everything. It's fine. You get to go do your own thing. And Genie's like, well, I know one thing I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go talk to that handmaiden. What's her name? Starts with a D.
Dahlia.
Dahlia. That's right. I was gonna say Delilah. It's not Delilah.
This is
Um,
close-ish.
I'm gonna go talk to Dahlia right quick, and Dahlia's like all about it. She's like, "Oh wait, you're human now? That's rad." And he's like, he's like, I want to. We're cool. This is the thing, right? Like we're pretty hot about this." And he's like, "I want to show you the world." Taken from Aladdin's fire. I'm gonna be honest. And she's like, "Yes, we can have a large boat and we'll sail the world." And he's like, "Well, maybe a smaller boat." He's like, because he's already like human. He's trying to be frugal. He's like, "I'm not. We only have you and me.
Not making that genie gold anymore.
Yeah, I'm not making that bank anymore, and really, it's only you and me. So we can only man a certain size vessel." And she's like, "Well, I want 2 kids." And he's like, "Yes, 2, and we'll name them this and this." And they're like just all fucking planning their future. So the cool callback is that the intro of this movie, we see Will Smith telling the story to his 2 kids. Well, it turns out Will Smith is the genie when he's a human, telling the story to his 2 kids from the handmaid for him and Dahlia. And it's like a cool little callback where we get to see like, oh, that's how the story starts. And so he's essentially telling the story of him and his best friend, which is pretty touching. And we get that quick little flashback, but then we kind of build up on while the Sultan is passing down the Sultanness to his daughter, and while the genie and the Dahlia are falling in love, that Aladdin just pieces out.
Yep.
He's like, "Yeah, well, I'm out of here." Like, and it's another thing that kind of hits on with me personally, where it's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. You guys seem like you're doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
And he leaves the palace, and him and Abu are like, "Yeah, that was crazy, right? What a week, right? Well, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
what a week."
And he grabs the hair decoration, which I'm not sure what that's called, right? It's like, so
It's like a barrette, but they used to make them like, and I remember this like late 90s they had them too, where it's like a little clip, but it has a pin through it, and it holds your hair back like a clip. Yeah.
Right. So it's the part that isn't the pin; it's the other part, the female part, I guess, of that.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and he sees it, and he's kind of like, "Huh, I still have that." And I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to thinking in this moment. Is he just kind of like, "Huh, I still have
I
it,"
fucked that up. I feel like that's
or
what
he's,
he's thinking.
yeah, maybe like that's the version 2, or maybe he's like, "Well, maybe I'll give it back to her and we'll have a moment." I don't know, whatever. And so he starts walking off, and then we get a great scene from Jasmine, who I guess is the newly coined Sultan at this point because she has the ring.
Yep.
The pinky ring. I don't know if there's any official fucking ceremony for this, but whatever.
Oh.
And she's like, "Thief!" And he's like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Your Sultan commands you to stay where you are." And he's like, "Sultan?" Like just kind of like putting it together. And we get a great callback from early in the movie where he's like, "So am I in trouble?" And she's kind of like, "Only because you got caught." And it's a great callback from the beginning where she's like, "Are we in trouble?" And he's like, "Only if you get caught." So this is a nice little neat scene. And then they do their awesome kiss at that point. And I'm trying to decide if I'm on board with that line delivery and the kiss afterwards or not. So he's like, "So am I in trouble?" And she's like, "Only if you get caught. Now let's make out."
And she comes the 90 this time. He just has to go the 10.
Right.
I mean, he was on board the whole time. It was really just whether or not she forgives him.
So I'm not against this scene personally because that would be fucking hot. Where she's like, "Only because you got caught." I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble. I'm about to have this makeout. This is great." I don't know why I paused to think about that scene more than maybe I should have.
Because in the original Aladdin, their relationship is way, way slower than this. Like, they don't get married till 2 sequels later in the original Aladdin.
I don't even know if I watched those sequels, to be honest.
Disney nerd.
Hey, far be it from me to hate on you for being a nerd about some certain thing. I'm wearing a Guardians of the Galaxy t-shirt right now,
Rocket looks badass.
so I can't talk shit to you. And that's fair. Maybe I'm just thinking it's a little bit too quickly, or it's moving too.
I mean,
quickly.
they've known each other for like a week. It's fair that it's very quick.
But they're both hot as fuck, so I guess maybe
They're gonna have beautiful babies.
they are. Maybe the time skips beyond this point to end this movie, where they end up kind of hanging out, making out inside the palace, because they go from making out in front of the palace to making out in the palace, and then we do a rotation of the camera, where then now they're getting married because she's in the great dress, and he's actually dressed up, and then everyone's happy, and the genie's there as the best man, and the handsmaid's there as the bridesmaid, presumably, and that's kind of the end of the movie because they're all happy and stuff. Like, it's moving real quick, so maybe we can presume that time has skipped a lot faster than than normal.
Yeah.
So maybe that whole moment in the right in front of the palace is where they just go fuck, which is
possible.
Cool. It's cool with me. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, like, awesome.
No judgment. They went through like a really traumatic event.
Yeah. Let's go fuck in your pad. Like, your one with the thing with the levers and shit. That was rad.
It has a really good view.
Yeah, it's higher than most places. People can't spy on us. That sounds fun. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I shouldn't really be nitpicking that point, but I just kind of wanted to bring it up. So they are in love, Genie and Dahlia are in love as well. We already see that from the beginning of the movie. I kind of was actually hoping for a scene where we go back to him telling the story to his kids, and then they land on near the town, and then we get to see Sultan and Aladdin kind of meeting him at the shore. I thought that would have been cool. Fun.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that. Instead, we get a awesome traditional musical ending where the whole cast gets to dance and fuck around and be ridiculous, which is, it's fun. Like,
I love it.
I'm not gonna hate on the way it ended, the way it did, but we get a great dance sequence with everyone. Will Smith, Naomi Scott, the gentleman who played Aladdin, everyone to get the dance. I was kind of like, are they gonna bring Jafar out? Like, are they gonna go that full ham, where they just bring Jafar to do the little fucking dance? But no, they didn't. They said fuck that guy.
Fair.
So yeah, it's everyone else just having a good time dancing, presumably at the reception at the wedding.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. We get some credits while that happens, and we get to watch everyone dance. So, Lacey, what do you think at the end of this movie? What are you feeling?
I'm pretty stoked. I walked out of the theater happy. Like, they didn't ruin any of the music, which sometimes, like, when they remake Disney movies or movies that have some really good musical numbers that, like, are nostalgic for me, if they remake the music too much, it makes me sad, right? Because then you don't get that nostalgia of, like, listening to the music, like you said, goosebumps, like, oh yeah, I remember this. So I was really excited about that. Like, they redid some of it, but enough that it was still the same song. I think they gave Jasmine a better voice. They gave her more of a why, which was really cool. I was really excited about that. They kind of took out some of the evilness of Jafar, which I was a little disappointed about. And then they had the really weird, like, Jasmine being a badass scene that I think they could have done without. But overall, I was really stoked about it. Honestly, I really liked it. I'm going to buy it. I'll watch it again for sure.
Rad. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Like, I think of the 3 movies I watched this weekend, this was kind of the least excited I was from watching a movie standpoint. But But whenever I heard you want to talk about it, it got me a little more excited because like, okay, rad, yeah, let's fucking. I want to talk to you about fucking movies while we drink adult beverages. It sounds fucking fun.
Yeah.
So I did end up kind of being more entertained than I thought it was. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good adaptation of the movie. I think it does enough to justify its existence
I agree.
if there needs to be such a justification. Fucking you, whatever. Like if you can just make it whatever the hell you want. I'm not gonna fucking yell at you about it. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun, and it makes me kind of really want to watch the original. And I guess we can start to air our grievances on the fact that it's really fucking hard to, in the day and age that we're currently in, to watch the original Aladdin without spending $20 to buy a Blu-ray/DVD of that fucking shit. And
I
it's
couldn't
like,
even find it on Blu-ray and DVD. So the ones on Amazon were like, the reviews are like, don't buy this. This is bootleg. And I was like, okay, cool.
oh okay, oh okay, it's not from like an actual seller. Got it.
Yeah. So like I even went to I went to 4 different actual stores, like stopped after work. That's how serious I was about this. Stopped after work, after the gym, before I got home, right? That's like sacred time. You don't need to stop anywhere in between then.
Gotcha. No, I
Stopped
understand.
and looked for Aladdin at multiple stores. They had like Dumbo, Lion King, Tarzan, like all these other Disney movies. I think it's in the vault right now, which I feel like was a missed opportunity by Disney, but that's just me.
Yeah, they have their weird vault policies where they just shove some shit in the vault and never talk about it, and, as if it never existed. I will say the caveat to that mentality is the Disney Plus that's supposed to be coming out later this year, where they've
Yeah,
already said they're gonna put fucking everything that they own on that
which I'm
motherfucker.
stoked about.
So that's pretty cool, but I guess that's kind of the what they're hoping for, right? Like that
Yeah.
might be a strategy to keep Aladdin from you, is to make you pay for it in November, similar to Lion King. Whenever that comes out, if you wanted to
Hmm.
watch Lion King again, I don't have Lion King, so I'd have to. I'm gonna run into the same shit presumably.
I think I saw it at one of the stores I went to. I think it was at Target or Walmart. I don't remember.
I
So
just
if
need
you
that.
want
Give me
it,
that. Give me that digital code. That's all I need.
oh yeah,
Um,
I'm probably gonna buy it. So yeah.
so
So how does that work with
that
them
it,
buying Netflix?
they're probably taking all their shit off Netflix.
So they're gonna buy Netflix, take all their stuff off Netflix, and have Disney Plus as a separate thing?
They didn't buy Netflix. They got a majority holdings in Hulu.
Oh, I thought it was okay. Who's Hulu? Never mind.
So they already had majority holdings in Hulu, or not majority holdings, but they had a percentage in Hulu. That's why
Hmm.
you got some of the Marvel's Runaways, which was a
Yeah.
really fun first season. It was on Hulu and shit like that. And so now they not only bought Fox Studios
Yep.
properties, they also bought majority stake in Hulu from Comcast. So based off things I've read and presumptions and shit, I would imagine that all their more adult rated stuff will go on Hulu. So if
Fair
you
enough.
wanted to watch Die Hard, which they own now, you would go to Hulu as opposed to Disney Plus because it would
Hmm.
be weird to watch Pinocchio and then watch Die Hard immediately after.
It's a
Um,
Christmas movie.
I'm fine with it. I wouldn't care, but I mean, I can understand why someone might be a little
Yeah.
weirded out by that. So I think that might be the way they go, but who knows? You know what I
Fair
mean?
enough.
Like, but at least what we know from Disney Plus is that they're going to have every Disney animated film they've ever done,
Yep.
every Disney Channel movie they've ever done,
Oh, they're
which
putting all the Disney Channel movies on there? Oh,
fuck yeah, they
that's gonna
are.
be awesome.
Every um, Marvel MCU movie is going to be on there. Star Wars is going to be on there. It's going to debut with some Star Wars TV shows, which I'm stoked about. We're going to get some more MCU TV shows.
Hmm.
The Loki streaming show,
Yep.
WandaVision. So Wanda, Maximoff, and Vision, they're going to have their own show. I think Hawkeye is going to have his own spin-off show. Rumors
Okay.
are. I think that's probably going to be him teaching his younger daughter to become Hawkeye, like we saw in Endgame. And
Yep.
then we're gonna get Winter Soldier and Falcon. They're gonna have their own TV series.
Okay. I guess I can be okay with paying for another streaming service.
With the amount of shit they're offering, it's probably not a steal. I mean, or it is a steal rather. I mean, if you wanted to be like, well, I'm gonna cancel Netflix and buy that. I mean, you'll have plenty of shit to watch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And
they
Hulu
won't
has so much too.
yeah, they won't have as much original stuff as Netflix currently has, but they will have some original stuff coming out when it launches, plus every single fucking Disney thing they've ever done before. So, I'm probably gonna buy it. It's only like $7.
Yeah. I could go down that rabbit hole pretty quickly. Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Just like watching
So,
Disney.
in which case, they got us, those motherfuckers, because we wanted to watch Aladdin, and now that's probably how they go watch Aladdin. Well, whatever. So I don't know if you have any final thoughts or anything you want to discuss before we about to wrap this motherfucker out.
I think we talked it all. We got the Sultan, we got Jafar, we got her Jasmine's song and her change in role. My slight disappointment with the animals being, live action, but it is what it is. It's live action.
And Jafar, that's the one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, I don't think very many, I honestly don't know, can't think of another actor that I feel like would have been able to come in and do Genie and do it justice. I can't think of another one I would have liked.
Neil Patrick Harris.
I think he's too goofy. Like he doesn't have enough serious for me. I can't see him in the serious parts of Genie, right? Like he's just a little too weird. It's a weird, delicate balance.
Hugh Jackman.
Is Hugh Jackman goofy enough?
I mean, he does do stage play quite often.
Fair, and he could have sang. That's true. That's true.
They wouldn't have had the CGI buff him if he was in Wolverine shape. He would just been like, I'm jacked.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe Hugh Jackman, maybe.
Not to say Will Smith is not in shape. we've seen what Hugh Jackman can do if he wants to get fucking ripped,
which is crazy.
And that scene in fucking Days of Future Past when he wakes up in the waterbed and he's just naked. He's just like, what? And you're just like
you had to have just not eaten carbs for like 2 years.
Oh yeah, no, he dehydrated his fucking self. Like I'm sure that was a nightmare to fucking like. But even beyond that, like he's in shape. Like it's not. You can't just be like, I'm not eat bread for a week and then I'm gonna look like that. No. He's in shape. But damn, good for him. Kudos to him. But anyways, shout out to him being like, I'm gonna go fucking full out comic book, fucking in shape.
True.
Yeah, I think Will Smith did. He did an admirable job. I think he had a little more. If there was a scale of being an exact copy or trying to exactly copy Robin Williams, and a scale of bringing it to it being completely himself and completely different from Robin Williams, I felt like he got a pretty good balance.
I agree. Yeah. Like enough that people who loved the old movie weren't like, this isn't Genie, but still were like, this is still Will Smith.
Right.
Yeah, I liked it.
So yeah, no, I liked it quite a bit. And we've talked about it quite often, quite a long time, which I'm completely fine with. That's why.
I guess you did.
It's been quite a while. So to wrap it up, I want to say thank you, Lacey, for joining me to talk about Aladdin. I know the next movie I wanted to talk to you about was Booksmart. We'll see if we can knock that out. Yeah. I'm watching it on Monday, so I don't know if you want to shoot it later on Monday. I don't know what your plans are, but I am watching it. Monday morning is when I'm watching it.
Okay, I may see if we can get it, if I can squeeze it in on Monday.
We were so good for the entire fucking show, and then your husband decides to fucking destroy the house at the end of the fucking show. And yes, I'm going to keep this in.
Ice machine is literally on the other side of this wall, too. Like, he's just... We're still recording, babe. Hi.
Anyways, that might be the next episode you see. I imagine I'll probably end up going a little above and beyond and posting this tomorrow on Sunday when I traditionally post shows. If we do record Booksmart, it might come out the following Sunday, depending on if I feel motivated to knock it out. I might knock it out on Monday. Video might be a little bit delayed. Travis is on a well-earned vacation, so he's probably not going to be able to get the video format out as soon as the podcast format. But, whatever. We're flying by the edge of our seats. So, once again, thank you, Lacey, for coming and joining me. Thank you, listeners, for joining us on this journey. And, thanks for joining us. And this is probably where the music starts rolling in. Might have been started rolling in before this point. I can't think of an embarrassing story to admit right now besides the pancake one I already said, so I'll probably reserve it for next episode. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. Did you like Aladdin? Did you hate it? Did you not want to watch it at all? Did we convince you to watch it? Let us know. And thanks for joining us. Later.
Bye.
Say when.